charisma.
Welcome back to the Comics Aficionados live here on Thinking Critical YouTube. There we go. We got the last member of the panel. A fantastic Saturday for you. Going to talk about all the geek stuff, some comic stuff, and all that fun stuff. And we've got a couple of people here. First time ever, Russ Leach, artist of the Atlantean. How you doing, Russ?
I'm fine, thanks. Thanks for having me on.
I'm glad to have you, brother. So the Atlantean's doing pretty well. It's on Fund My Comic right now.
Yeah, we got it on Fund My Comic. It's once it's done with the campaign, it goes out to Amazon and Barnes and Noble, and we're also looking to distribute soon. So it's doing
Very
okay.
cool.
We're on issue 3, so we're not going anywhere.
There's a link in the video description if you're interested in the Atlantean, and in the Atlantean is the continuation of Cole the Conqueror. That's
right. Yeah, we did an adaptation of the public domain book, The Shadow Kingdom, which was the first. It's slated as the first sword and sorcery book, and it was by Robert E. Howard. And we enjoyed the characters so much that we took that public domain version of them and spun them off into a series. And we do somewhere between 3 and 4 50-plus page books a year.
Very, very cool stuff. And you're out, obviously, across the pond. You're in England. How's everything going there?
Yeah, you know, it's topsy-turvy. We're trying our best not to have a revolution at the moment, so but it's okay.
The news makes it seem like there's a lot of protesting going on.
Yeah, there's a lot of protesting going on. There's a lot of stuff happening. Yeah, but I wouldn't want YouTube to be pressured by the British government to shut you down, so I won't say any more about that.
I will. But I lived in the UK for 4 years. I loved it there, so I definitely have a special place in my heart for England. So I hope everything works out at the end. There's
still a great country there. It's just under a little bit of pressure at the moment. So
it's so funny because you always just think of the British being very polite and very, so it's like you think of England and you just imagine it's like, oh, there's a bit of a bit of spot of trouble, and you walk outside and the guy's just going, hey, everybody, just simmer down then, eh? And it's like, oh, okay, all right, it's like,
yeah, please queue up.
No, I think it's a big thing.
Oh, that was a close one.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think it's a little bit more concerning than that, but we don't want to say too much about that.
Yeah, that's why you got comic books. You want a little bit of
that's right, yeah, and entertainment,
from the day-to-day stuff.
Release from the entertainment. Yes, exactly. Unlike some of the things that I read today. So
very nice. And
we'll talk about that later.
Sully is on assignment. He's actually at Fan Expo Boston, and I think Drew is at Terrificon. We got a lot of people out there.
Oh, so many cons.
Yeah, there's like 9 of them going on right now. But we do have the illustrious Reenie Draws. How you doing, Reenie?
Hello, I am doing well. Thanks for having me back on.
Well, we're glad to have you. So it appears things are going well. You also have a crowdfunding comic book going on right now on Indiegogo.
Yes.
The 3rd chapter.
Yes, the 3rd chapter of my comic Fiendish is now live on Indiegogo. And yes, it's going great. It's going great. I'm very grateful.
Congratulations. $40,000 in the first 24 hours or so?
Oh no, it was like 30K. Only 30K the first
only 30.
No, it's been a couple of weeks. So, it slows down after like the first week where we just passed 40K though. So thank you everybody who backed the book. Yeah, you guys are great.
Congratulations. That is an enormous success.
Thank you.
The channel is growing and all that stuff.
Yeah. I'm not really, a YouTuber, so to say. I decided my time is better spent in drawing than YouTube takes up so much time, but I do what I can, and yeah, it's going great for me not really paying attention to it.
Well, yeah, congratulations. And have you been out on the con scene? It is con season right now. Have you been able to make it out there and meet any of the big fans?
A little bit. I did 3 cons, and I feel like I'm already conventioned out. I don't know how some people go to 1 con every month or something. It's just crazy. But yeah, I can't do it.
Tell you about
HH goes to 1 a week.
Yeah, he's
really.
Yeah, there's a stretch where he's just like con to con to con to con to con.
I can't. I'm an introvert. Like 3 or 4 cons a year is about it for me. Yeah, I was just in at Florida SuperCon. I did Heroes Con. I actually did Osaka Comic Con this year. for the first time. So that was
So you went to
fun.
Japan.
Yeah, that was awesome. It's just an excuse to go to Osaka, honestly.
Yeah.
But like, why not? That's a good excuse,
Exactly.
right?
Osaka
Yeah,
must be
that was great. Oh yeah, so much fun. It's weird because it's like it's so different from Tokyo. I've been to Tokyo a bunch of times, but Osaka is like a different culture, like more outgoing, kind of gangsta. I really like it.
Very nice. And there were lots of Fiendish fans, Rainy Draw fans in Japan.
Well, I was there to share the comic with new fans because what I've done for the past year is I've been getting Fiendish translated and put on different platforms. So I've been expanding digitally. I have a digital version of Fiendish on Global Comics, and now I have Spanish and Japanese editions. I got a translator and everything. So I was bringing the Japanese edition to Japan. I did a con in Mexico last year to share the Spanish edition too. So for like a complete unknown from a foreign country, I think it went pretty well.
Well, yeah, that's pretty cool. You're gonna do the manga size black and white versions like everyone else is doing with when they convert it over to Japanese.
Yeah, I'm not doing black and white. I did print manga size though, so I have all 3 chapters that are out so far because it's there's a chapter 2.5. I have a Gaiden. That's why there's 3 books, even though I'm currently funding chapter 3, which is technically the 4th book. It's complicated. But yeah, there's a manga size edition, but it's in color. And I ask around people, some Japanese manga readers, and they were like, well, the color will just help you stand out. So as long as it's like a smaller size, because people like compact books, did a little market research. So yeah, it seems to, it's a different part of the market. It's, manga sells really, really well. So I'm hoping, and obviously have a lot of manga influence in my work. So I'm hoping that if I can bring Fiendish to that audience, I think that'd be great.
Can I ask? Sorry, can I ask, Rennie?
Yeah.
Do you, not knowing an awful lot about manga myself, do you have to convert the book? You obviously have it translated into Japanese. Do you run it in a different format as far as back to front or anything like that, or just run it exactly the same as you would in English?
I printed it just the same as in English because
Right.
I didn't want to flip the art. It just got too complicated. It's like, well, then I have to go in the text, and if something was to the left, I would have to say to the right. And I mean, it's just one of those things where you can read Japanese left to right. It's just traditionally it's read right to left.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where I asked around, and people said it's not really a problem. Like a lot of American comics, for example, I think when Marvel's books get translated into Japanese, they don't always flip it. And
Right.
I this is true because I did go to a comic store in Japan with a bunch of American comics that were in Japanese, and they weren't all flipped. Most of them weren't. So it's not something essential. It depends on the project. So I didn't do that. I just printed it at a smaller edition with increase the lettering size and everything.
Okay, thank you very much.
No, yeah.
Just out of curiosity, when you you said increase the lettering size. Does that do you ever run into issues with the word bubbles essentially taking up too much of the page real estate and have to revise your dialogue?
Not really. I only increased it by like 1 point or so. And what's interesting with translating dialogue to a different language is it kind of varies. Like sometimes it's just surprising what lines take up more space and what lines take up less. So I've been able to fit everything in generally the same area, and it helps that I take lettering into account in my layout. So I usually have plenty of space to do lettering, and it pays off to plan ahead and think about this stuff early. So yeah, it wasn't a big deal to have to take up a little more space with the lettering.
I completely forgot it was translated into Japanese, and I'm like, oh yeah, their characters take up completely different real estate than the English language. Okay.
Yeah, even in Spanish, sometimes it's like, this is a very simple sentence in English, and it's so long in Spanish. How did that happen? It's a very fun thing to encounter.
Yeah, I know HH does the manga size versions of his Here Comes Calico books, and he cannot keep them on the shelf when he goes to cons. He basically just keeps selling out of them because it's not just the Japanese, it's like younger Western readers prefer that little smaller format.
Yeah. There's I got a surprising number of existing Fiendish fans who read the English edition. They really like the Japanese editions, and like they're up on my store, and I wasn't expecting anyone to want them, but people have been buying them, even though it's in Japanese, and they don't necessarily read it. They just think it's really cool, and I did new covers and everything, so that helps. And people like that compact small edition.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need subtitles for the comic.
I need
I'll work
reading
on
glasses. It's too small. I'm too old. Us old guys can't do it. We've also got Dylan, the real comic book gamer here. How you doing, Dylan?
I'm doing good. I do want to let everyone in the chat know that there is a thing called a description, and you can look in it because I saw some people asking for a link to her comic. It's linked in the description. These are the same people that last week were like, Dylan has a channel? It's linked in the description every week. Every single week, Wes has it there. Just look there. If you're looking for links, that's where all the info is. It's really cool.
I'll be posting them in the chat too, so no worries.
Dylan's
Thank
had a
you.
channel like for 10 years. Yeah, longer than me.
Yeah, I've had a channel for a while, but yeah.
But yes, if you're looking for links to the Atlantean, to Fiendish Chapter 3, or for Kneel Before Doomface, they're all in the video description, as well as a link to the sponsor for today's video, Notti and Nyce Reset. So we've got all the info in the description, and we do our best for that. So, Dylan, we got the bad news that the UFC and the WWF are moving behind the ESPN paywall. Is that what's happening?
I haven't seen that. I haven't paid attention to any of that. I know that they're trying to work out a new deal because forever ago, UFC went with ESPN after they left Fox and all that. And then their deal was up, I think, this year or like into last. And so I haven't seen anything since then. I know they were working on something, but no, just something new came out.
The new ESPN paywall that launches next year is going to be $30.
So it's something different from ESPN Plus, or is it just?
Yes, it's going to be replacing ESPN Plus.
Well, ESPN Plus is already terrible.
And you're also going to still get to pay for pay-per-views.
Yeah,
on top of paying their paywall.
That's right.
That's how it currently is. You have to pay for ESPN Plus every month and pay for the pay-per-view if you want it. If you actually still pay for pay-per-views, because there's plenty of ways to get around that.
Yeah, and that's what I'll be doing. A pirate's life for me.
That's what I do for the pay-per-views. It's ridiculous. It's so stupid.
$100 on top of the $30 that you're going to have to pay just to get the access to the pay-per-view.
Yep. The pay-per-view model is so dead. It's so archaic. I don't know why they're still using it, especially if you want to grow the sport.
Yeah. They got a big event this weekend, Dylan. Are you going to watch it?
UFC?
Oh, yeah.
Big events happening this weekend. Next weekend's when we get, I think it's next weekend, or when we get Dricus Duplessis. This weekend? Who's fighting this weekend? Or are you getting it confused?
No, there's an event this weekend, but it's
but it's just like a fight night between nobodies.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think Angela Hill was in like the third highest fight. I was like, this lady's like 16-14. Why is she?
Yeah, I was about to say. I think 16-14 might be generous. I don't even know if she's a 50-50 fighter anymore. Yeah, that was the big problem with the ESPN deal. Was ever since then they've just been like, oh, now we have to do an event every weekend. So you'll get 2 good cards a year, and every other card is just gonna be watered down, and it sucks.
But I'm getting every UFC card for $5 now because I got the app here that has access to the WWF and the UFC cards, and I can watch them on demand.
Must be nice.
VPNs are going to be everyone's favorite thing.
Yeah. Well, that's been a thing for a while. Is every other country has it better for UFC than the US, even though we're a big market. Everywhere else, it's like in the UK and everything, you can get it without having to pay. They have, I can't remember the name of their channel.
Sports.
that always plays it. It's so annoying that here it's like, yeah, pay $100 to watch it.
You know, we got a guy from the UK on here. You can ask him.
It's Nintendo Sports.
I can't watch anything. The government's banned everything.
Oh,
Oh my gosh.
Got to upload your ID and verify that you're a human being.
Yeah,
Before you
yeah,
can watch
yeah,
games.
yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, everyone's got on a VPN now. Your granddad's on a VPN now. That's it. Screw the
Yes.
government.
I like the cut of Russ's jib.
oh, that is
That's the spirit.
Yeah,
all right.
yeah.
You can
Losing his head
definitely
here.
be American.
not a government lover, to be honest. Get their noses out of my business and give my tax money back.
Oh, I love it. Mm.
Yeah.
So, Dylan, you got any big videos or anything coming up on the channel that people need to know about?
I'm working on a Bizarro video, so hopefully that'll be out soon. In the meantime, I have a video that I posted last week, which was they're talking about that Kaisar was talking about in the chat, where I just talked about some of the most bingeable comics, my favorite bingeable comics that are a fun time to read. So check that out.
What was your most bingeable comic book?
Well, it wasn't in any particular order, it was just 10.
Well, just give us an example. I just want to
Criminal was on there.
Oh yeah, Criminal's great. Brubaker
Yeah.
and Phillips.
Yep. That was really
What's
good.
it? There's like 13 books in there, isn't there?
There's 3 hardcover collections, like epic collections. So that's what I got. That's how I've read it. And they're also coming out with a new one because the show's coming out. And so they're doing a new one called, like, was it Knives something with knives in the title. But I know they're finally bringing Criminal back. So
It's going to
Which was
Amazon,
fun.
right?
yep.
I think Brubaker has a deal with them.
I believe so.
Hopefully they do a good job because Criminal will be perfect for a show.
Oh yeah, that'd be absolutely fantastic. So your Bizarro, is that for like people that just watched the Superman movie and are wondering what's this Bizarro guy people might be referring to as potentially showing
It's
up?
gonna be mainly about his first appearance because I don't know if you've read Bizarro's first appearance, but it's
I have.
incredibly sad and
Hilarious.
Superboy is so cruel, and also the commentator's so cruel. Like throughout it, they're just constantly talking about how pathetic he is and how no one loves him, and he's crying the entire comic. And Superboy throws an A-bomb at him instantly. There's a lot of. It's a very funny comic, but also very sad.
What the hell?
Like,
Yes.
the narrator's like, look at this sad piece of shit.
Legitimately, yes. Like that's not even an over exaggeration. Like
Set him on
constantly, that's the
fire.
thing.
Burn him alive.
See, when
Yeah.
Dylan said he was going to do a Bizarro video, I want people to like go, oh, cool, and they log in, and it's just Dylan doing the Bizarros from Aqua Teen Hunger or from C Lab, where he's just staring into the camera going Bizarro, Bizarro for like 20 minutes, and everybody's confused.
Or he just scripts it so that he's talking like Bizarro
Oh man.
for the entire video.
I love
can't-
Bizarro back in the day when they would be like, there's a spaceship that needs help, and they put out like an SOS, and they show up and just destroy it because they have to do the opposite of anything. They
That's right.
want to give you a birthday card, you know, they tell you how much they hate you and stuff like that. It's great.
Yeah.
was very funny in Grant Morrison with All Star when Bat Zorro shoots his own parents. That was pretty good. Yeah. One of my favorites though was during the Emperor Joker storyline, Jeff Loeb's when Bizarro shows up and Superman's dealing with a lot of shit and he doesn't have time for him. So he just instantly destroys his Bizarro #1 necklace and that just takes out Bizarro. He's just done.
So something happened to me this week, Dylan. I remembered when I was going through like Netflix or whatever, because I was hanging out with my kids. I remembered you said something about K-pop Demon Hunters.
You brought that up to me.
You brought it up. I've never heard of it in my life. You
People
said you were
can go
watching it
back
with
and
your
watch the
girlfriend.
tape. People can go back and watch the tape.
No, you
brought it
said
up
you were
to
watching
me.
with your girlfriend. I'd never heard of
No.
it before then.
No, you brought it up to me and asked if I was going to watch it with her.
You said
People
she
can
was
go back
watching
and
it
watch-
on her thing, and you said there was like all these pop-ups or something.
No, I said that's how when we watch stuff, she has her Chinese pirating sites and there's a lot of gambling ads that come up. It's like, and
Yeah,
telling
you're
you
talking about K-pop Demon Hunters. I finally
was
decided to
not
watch it
talking about
on your
K-pop Demon Hunters.
recommendation.
This is just false. This is fake news. People can go back and look.
Wait a minute. On when we recorded on Wednesday, Wes was trying to get me into the show, and he said, "Well, Dylan loves it. Dylan swears by it."
How many times does he use my name to just recommend things, just random things I know nothing about? No,
I
I
was like,
told you,
Dylan
I have not watched it.
If Dylan likes it, I'll check it
On
out. He's got
Dylan's
good taste.
recommendation, I went and watched K-pop Demon Hunters, and it was fucking good. Well, thank you.
That's what
Dylan.
I hear.
appreciate it. It's actually really good.
Yeah, I heard it's great.
Shockingly good. And even like the crappy like K-pop music was pretty decent.
Aww.
Is it like on the Gem and the Holograms level of decent, or the Misfits
Oh, it's
level
way
of
better
even
than
better?
that.
Okay, so it's like
It's
Misfits
like Alvin
level,
and the
because their songs
Chipmunks
are
level,
better.
dude.
They just rip stuff off and crank it up really high.
It's better than that then.
It's not hard to be better than Chipmunks.
So are you saying you're not the one that told me the name K-pop Demon Hunters?
No.
That I'd never heard in my entire life until you brought it up here on a stream talking about your girlfriend watching it with all the pop-ups or something.
I did not bring it up. Did not make me
Take-
go back
take
and
the
watch.
win, Dylan. Take the win. Just say yes.
I swear to God it was you. It could have been
It
me.
was-
I'd never heard of it.
It was not me. I was
chat
not
thinks
the one who
that-
brought it up.
The chat thinks that you have a #1 K-pop Demon Hunters fan under your shirt, Dylan. That you're hiding.
It was a Superman shirt.
You're just gaslighting all of us now. I've never talked about that.
Oh man, now I'm gonna have to go back and find when that was.
No,
I'm
but-
gonna have
There you go. Well, you should go watch it with your girlfriend because it's absolutely fantastic.
maybe. I was hoping she would just watch it on her own, so then I don't have to.
It's pretty good. Doc, we need to get it on Docbuster Video so Aaron can watch it. He'll love it too. He likes Jim and the Holograms and stuff
K-pop
like that.
Demon Hunters.
K-pop Demon Hunters.
Hey, I'll see what I can do.
Jim's already seen it. Jim
Some
also
weird
said it's
fucking
his,
requests recently.
Jim said it's his favorite movie. He even knew
Isn't
the
it-
band that did the music.
I did, however, find the Starship Troopers anime that was on Laserdisc in 1988.
Yeah.
That is basically, it looks like from the little bit that I saw, it's mostly basically Gundam, because apparently Starship Troopers have Gundams.
Oh yeah, they get their big mech suits and they go. I mean, they kind of did that in one of the movies too. They tried to do it, but they didn't have the budget to really pull it off.
Lots of mech suits in the cartoon for the
Mhm.
animated series.
All right,
book,
I've
too,
never
I
bothered to watch.
That's good. Yeah.
But yeah, that's a
So,
good
So,
one.
Reedy, you've never seen K-pop Demon Hunters.
No, but I've been seeing gifs and memes about it. I mean, it looks like fun. It looks like it's funny. Actually,
It is. It's actually really
like a very
hilarious.
expressive film. Oh yeah, that's cool.
Like it's
I
totally
should
playing
watch it.
into like the K-pop, I guess, scene or whatever, and being, nice about it, but also making fun of it at the same time when they're eating their ramen and stuff like that. It's hilarious.
Cool.
I can't believe I'm the only one. Caffeinated Wolf gives it a 10 out of 10. He said it's perfect.
Wow. Well, I do trust Caffeinated Wolf.
Who wouldn't?
I mean, anybody named Caffeinated Wolf, I absolutely trust implicitly.
That's right. It's like, here's the
I
keys
just-
to my house. Everything's fine.
My mind is
No,
blown here.
no,
I
you
thought K-pop Demon Hunters was going to be this enormous conversation starter because Dylan had sworn by it. I figured Reedy had it or liked it because she liked anime so much, and I'm the only one.
Just you.
You're ahead of the curve, Wes.
I knew I should have watched it.
But it's like the #1 movie here all over in the Philippines, and even my oldest son is 10. He's like in a group chat or whatever. They keep memeing each other with K-pop Demon Hunters. All the boys.
Really? Wow.
It's
Well,
got
cool.
crossover appeal.
Yeah, anime crossed with K-pop, basically. I mean, what's not to love? No wonder
Well,
it's so big.
We had David Hedgecock on the channel, and he was doing that book right before K-pop Demon Hunters dropped. He was doing that book, Rock and Roll Derby Gaiju Force Go. I can never remember the name of it, but it's a really good title. And it's a bunch of girls in a band that are roller derby girls as well, and they fight kaiju. And so when K-pop Demon Hunters came out, and I started to see all the fan art of it, I was like, "Oh, David, you were just ahead of the curve, but not on a big enough platform for all that success."
Yeah. Yeah, that kind of stuff. It's always like, that's really cool, but dang it, I just don't have enough attention on what I made.
There's so many ideas that like I have for things and so many gags, and then I see them somewhere. It's like, oh, they beat me to it.
Yeah. These things just float around in the collective consciousness, I think.
Do you ever worry that like when you come up with something and you put it down on paper and then someone goes, that's kind of like this, and then you're like, oh, was that in my subconscious? Because I know what that is. Like, was that kind of like floating back there, and that it just came out?
Yeah, that happens though. Yeah, that just happens. I think you have to kind of be okay with it. It's like on a scale of very derivative versus it's just influenced by something, because everyone has their influences, right? So sometimes it's just like, you know what, my influences are pretty obvious. I mean, for fiendish they are. I mention them all the time, and that's fine, because if you've put something together in a new combination that is original and it has your own themes, and that's what matters. Like everyone's work comes from something else. That's unavoidable.
I straight up, without realizing it, I straight up ripped off Steve Purcell's Sam and Max joke in Darkwing Duck. And then I was rereading my Sam and Max omnibus, and I was like, oh, I stole that. So when I was up at Pixar and I was having lunch with Steve, I slid him a $5 bill, and he's like, what's this for? And I was like, it's a royalty. I ripped you off.
No. That's funny.
You pulled off an Amy Schumer, huh?
Well, what you do is you just say it's an homage, and then you're safe, right? Like, you're like, no, that was an homage. I wasn't subconsciously ripping him off at all. It was a nod to his genius.
Yes.
So Sparrow, you end up having a bunch of appearances this week?
Yeah, I mean, what do I got going on? I do have stuff. It's like, this is the funny thing about me, is it's like I agree to be on shows, and then it's like I tell people, remind me the day before, because as soon as I say yes, I will forget, and I'll put it on my calendar, and it doesn't matter. Like I don't have that kind of brain that holds on to like where I'm supposed to be at what time.
He'll be somewhere.
On it. I'll be somewhere. I'll be like all over the place. Maybe Josh will have me on. Maybe World Class Bullshitters will have me on. You never know where I'm going to show up.
Yeah, it'll probably happen. But you had a pretty decent week. Are you ready to watch this K-pop Demon Hunters? Are you ready to move on?
I'm ready to watch it. Doc throws it up there. I will definitely check it out. But yeah, no, I meant to check out the Starship Troopers anime yesterday, but I got a new piece of furniture delivered, like a new entertainment center, and so I had to rewire everything, and then the internet wasn't working for like several hours, because it's like, you touched it. So like, I spent hours just like troubleshooting, and by the time I was done, I was like, I just want to go to sleep.
Yeah, but you're not going to see the Fantastic Four movie.
No, I might go see Stretch this weekend though. That looks fun.
See Weapons. Weapons is amazing.
Weapons is good. Yeah,
it's really good. That's the
That's
the most in tuned like everyone in the theater has been in a long time in a movie I've seen. Like, everyone was feeling everything at the exact same time in that movie. It was a lot of fun. It was really good.
Well, I've been a fan of Zach Kreger's. Go ahead, Renee.
And I'm seeing that in like 4 hours, so I'm very excited. I keep hearing about it.
It's really good.
So is this like your recommendation when you told me to watch K-pop Demon Hunters, but you hadn't seen it, or have you actually seen this movie?
Well, this one is these words are actually coming out of my mouth. I'm hallucinating it. So this is my recommendation.
So you say Weapons deserves or has earned the Rotten Tomatoes perfect critic score?
Yeah, it's at like 96%, I think, right now. It's really good. It's actually is worth the hype.
It's a horror movie?
Yes, it's a horror movie, but it's also very funny as well. Because Zach Kreger,
really?
He's the guy who did he's the one who did, was it Whitest People You Know? You remember that back in the day? Yeah, Whitest Kids You Know. Yeah. So it's very funny also. Like, it's terrifying. Like, the way it goes from like hilarious in 1 second to just terrifying in the next, it handles it really well.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a horror movie.
And this is the script that would have been sitting out there and like all the studios were like bidding over, right?
Yeah, that Jordan Peele like fired his entire team for because they lost the bidding war. Yeah. Also, this is the guy that's been talking about how he wrote a like a Gotham henchman movie that he's going to eventually try to pitch to DC, is what he's saying.
So it's better than Fantastic Four and Superman.
Yeah, I'd say it's better than both. Definitely better than Fantastic Four. I'd say it's better than Superman also.
So, Aaron, are you still going to see Stretched, or are you going to go see Weapons?
I might go see Weapons instead now. I don't know. Like my camera went out and then my background disappeared, so I don't know what's going on. But yeah, no,
on the
Zach
screen,
Cregger,
you're frozen with a
Yeah.
smug look on your face.
am I? Oh, jeez.
Right now, you were
Beautiful.
effectively throwing your voice.
Okay, I'm just gonna turn my camera off while I trouble. See, I gotta troubleshoot stuff all the time. It's
You
bullshit.
shouldn't have touched your camera, dude.
I know,
Don't do
but yeah,
that.
it's Zach Cregger's great. He was on Whitest Kids, He's in my favorite sketch where he's or one of my favorite sketches with him is he meets an old friend in the park and he's carrying a gallon of PCP, and his buddy they're catching up and his buddy's like, so it comes in liquid form, and he's like, yep, science. And he's like, so do you do a lot of it? And he's like, got a gallon.
So is it as good as like 28 Days Later?
I like it better than 28 Days Later.
That's some pretty high praise. I think 28 Days
But
Later is maybe the best horror movie I've ever seen.
28 Days Later is your favorite horror movie?
Probably, yeah. I think it's amazing.
28 Days is really good. I did just go back and rewatch it for 28 Years Later. It is unfortunate that they filmed it on a flip phone, but it still holds up.
Yeah. Unless you consider like Seven a horror movie, then maybe Seven's my favorite.
Seven's
horror
not a
movie.
horror movie, no.
No, it's a thriller.
Yeah.
Seven's fantastic.
Seven's so good.
Become right.
But we
Saw
won't get to
that.
see anything like that. Fincher's just doing Netflix shit.
The Killer's really good though, but yeah, it's so unfortunate that he's doing Netflix stuff.
When I watch Seven now, though, because of the Kevin Spacey of it all, it's like that Ryan George sketch where it's like, watch this movie from my childhood. Oh, this was great. And it's going through and it's like, oh, the effects aren't very good. Oh, the writing's bad. Like, oh, the acting, like they didn't use another take. And then it gets to a point and it's like, hey, didn't that guy go to jail? Yes. Didn't that guy go to jail? Yes. And he's like, the whole cast is in jail. They did so many crimes.
Hey, so the guy that goes to jail in the movie goes to jail in real life? I just call
Well,
that
no.
good casting.
No, the guy that went to jail in the movie, or the guy that gets killed
he
in the
didn't go to
movie,
jail in real
he
life.
didn't go to jail, and everybody who accused him ended up dead. So it's kind of weird.
Whenever I watch Seven now, I'm just waiting for Robert Pattinson emo Batman to show up. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
So.
You know what I love about that movie, though, is it has a happy ending. It ends with Gwyneth Paltrow's head in a box.
Oh, goodness. You are a terrible person. But we do have a channel sponsor here. Obviously, it's been running in the ticker. But let's get this promo on
Hold
the
up.
road.
Jeremy said it was Sully who brought up K-pop Demon Hunters. If you look at the chat. So it was Sully who did it.
Huh. I must not have given his word any weight at all. I'm just waiting for you to say something about it. Said Sully likes it, huh? That don't mean much. Then you were like, yeah, I watched it with my girlfriend with all these pops-ups, and it was good. Maybe you didn't say that, but that's what I heard.
It's all that matters.
I liked it. In order to convince himself that it was a trustworthy opinion, he had to switch it from Sully to Dylan.
Oh, man. So let's get this promo for Naughty and Nice.
Wonderkin, Murat Michaels is returning to the world of Naughty and Nice, and he's bringing the hardest working writer in comics with him. From Clan McDonald Comics, Naughty and Nice Reset, written by Dolan Waddick, aka Drew, and Murat Michaels with Murat on art. It starts with a familiar beginning for the original Bad Girls, but by the end, they'll be thrown into a wild new world where nothing will ever be the same. This issue kicks off an all-new series written by Dolan Waddick and edited by Thinking Critical's own Aaron Sparrow. The official launch stream happens Thursday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, right here on Thinking Critical YouTube. Be there or be square. Sign up on Kickstarter now. You don't want to miss out. Link in the video description. Because the Bad Girls just got badder.
Oh, there you go, Aaron. You got another project coming up with Dylan.
I love
I'm sorry, with Dolan.
Yeah, no, Dylan and I are working on plenty of stuff too.
just
Don't
putting my name into everything today.
No, yeah, Drew and I, Dolan. Drew and I are I love working with Drew. A lot of fun. Naughty and Nice #1. Don't just dismiss it as a bad girl book. Drew has put a lot of work into it. It's a lot of fun. It's really hard hitting action. I would say it's quadruple the impact. Some people out there settle for double the impact, but this is quadruple the impact. This isn't just some trash book that's thrown out there. Especially in the crowdfunding space. So much of it is taken up by just absolute exploitive garbage. And if you're getting the impression that that's what this is, it is not. This is a really good book, really well thought out, really great action, and just hot ladies kicking ass. Who doesn't like that?
And titties.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, there's that.
Jesus.
The art
Aaron,
looked really
you're
good.
going to be leading the live stream on Thursday?
I guess.
You were
Like,
consulted for that?
I just found out about it last night. Drew's like, "Oh, by the way, you're doing the live stream launch," and I'm like, "All right."
Cool.
Do you know what I'm going to do to you and Drew in the thumbnail of that live stream?
What are you gonna do?
I'm going to make you naughty and he's going to be nice.
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh
what I have to do.
yeah.
I'm sorry, everybody. I apologize in advance for the horrors that Wes will unleash upon you.
So that'll be fun. So congratulations to Aaron, and the book launches on Kickstarter Thursday with the live stream.
Yeah, that's the plan. I'm told late last night.
Very, very good. And we've also launched channel memberships on the channel this week, and we've got some new Patreon and channel membership backers we need to give a little shout out to. Everybody gets a superhero name and a city protect when you back the channel, whether it be on Patreon or channel memberships. First up, thank you very much to Michael Kidd, aka the Voidbreaker, protector of Hollow Creek. Thank you very much to Brian Grindrad, aka Blackout, protector of Eclipse City. Zach Carrick, the Skull Reaper himself, protector of Bone Harbor. Welcome to the family. We've also got Plastic Crate, Greek Fire, protector of Trojan Springs. Jimmy Walker, welcome to Thinking Critical channel memberships, aka Thunder Kick, protector of Storm Valley. We've also got JK Justice Kicker, protector of Nerd Haven, returning, and Marvel 2099, aka Future Flare, protector of Nova City, also backing us on the channel memberships. We've got Retro Days, aka Dead Eye, protector of Tombstone. Thank you very much to Coop Jodes, aka Iron Fang, the protector of Steel Ridge. Also Matthew Bechtold, aka Bloodword, protector of Crimson Bay. Alvaro F, Razorback himself, protector of Spine Mountain. Ike Builder, the Shadow Store, protector of the Darkwell. And Dylan Lindsay, Phantom Strike, protector of Ghost Valley. Thank you very much for backing the channel, whether it be on Patreon or channel memberships. There are links in the video description to both of those right now. You get all kinds of awesome podcasts featuring Aaron Sparrow, Doc, Jim from Weird Science, our good friend 32 Flavors, Nick Weiser, and all kinds of really fun stuff going on there. And I really do appreciate everybody joining the family. And we are having a great time with all that. And we've got Javelin 2. Be cautious, MJ fans. Marvel teased us Black Cat Spidey fans that they were back together during Zeb's run. We never got to see it. Thus, it ended up hollow. We kind of got to see it, didn't we, Doc? Didn't they have like sex and then she broke up with him?
Yeah, I thought so. Thought she banged him and then like left and was like, "No, you're just a fuck buddy."
I don't think she said that in the comic book.
Not exactly. Pretty sure that wasn't the verbatim line.
No.
But yeah, she was just like, no, you're, because the entire Zeb Wells was treating Peter like a bimbo that you just kind of pass around.
It's called a himbo, I think, when it's a dude.
It would be a himbo. And yeah, so basically the entire run was that. So he was the arm candy. But she'd never actually get serious with Peter because, I mean, he's lived on his girlfriend's couch and worn her t-shirts.
Yeah.
So
Joe Kelly's kind of hinting that Black Cat maybe and Spidey also too, though, right? Didn't she just show up in his run? Weren't they in like a spider web looking at the thing, and then Hell's Gate showed up?
You know what? That's the issue I didn't get.
Oh, well, never mind.
That was issue 5. I don't know what happened in that issue because I didn't read it.
Well, they were in a spider web and they were about to hook up, and then Hell's Gate showed up. And,
okay.
He interrupted him.
Well, I mean, you know,
Bit of a
Captain
cockblock.
Damn
That
you,
sounds great.
you beat me to it.
Is there a villain named that? Is there a villain like in a big rooster suit?
That's
and cockblock?
if there was a villain named that would have been a Middle World comic book for certain.
Oh,
Well, you know what?
100%.
Well, you know what? I'm writing it down for Neil before Doomface, so nobody steal cockblock.
I'm trademarking that shit right now.
Cockblock TM.
Oh,
That's a verbal trademark. It's a
no,
verbal trademark. It counts.
but instead, no, he's not wearing a chicken suit. He's like a
we
giant
don't
walking Lego.
Yeah.
That just gets in front of people. I went as that is for Halloween costume one time.
That wasn't nearly as dirty as I thought you were going to go, Doc. So I do appreciate that.
Yeah,
Lee
so-
McDakel, thanks 40 the K-pop Demon Hunters recommendation, Dylan. I'll be sure to check it out.
No problem, bud. Anytime.
Man, you've got everybody jumping on the K-pop Demon Hunters bandwagon, Dylan.
Yeah, apparently.
Now that you guys mention it, I think it was Sully.
Yeah. I told you it wasn't me.
And in your mind, you had to remake it so that it wasn't a sus opinion. So you just transferred Dylan in there. You just
So weird. I guess I'm just getting older or something, but I will vouch for K-pop Demon Hunters. It's actually pretty darn good. Let your girlfriends talk you into it, boys. It's actually pretty fun. My kids even enjoyed it as well. Master Swag King, is sex with women overrated? No. That's ridiculous.
no.
What a question.
That is an
I mean-
absurd question.
Also, as
And-
opposed to what? Like, you know, like,
I mean, it's
There are many
definitely-
things in this world that are overrated.
I can
Sex
think of
is one
a.
them. It's great.
Yeah, it's definitely better than sticking your hand in a blender.
Surely that's contextual.
That's a low bar.
I've told
Which
you
woman?
Guys, I've told you guys
question.
Good point.
I've told you guys what my stepdad told me, right? When he was like, well, I better talk to the boy about sex.
I don't think so.
Oh God, it was great. So he comes in and he goes, he sits down and he goes, I just need to talk to you for a minute. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, I always do Ron Swanson voice with my dad, not because he sounds like Ron Swanson, but because the things he says sound Swanson-esque. But you know, it's like I'm like 15 at this point, you know, and he's like, so you know about sex, right? And I'm like, oh yeah, I know about sex. You know, like we had the classes at school, and you know, like yeah,
Oh, wait.
yeah, and it's like, and also like, you know, when I was in 6th grade, you know, an older kid showed us some really disturbing magazines that he found in his dad's closet, you know, and at the time it was like, oh, you know, but so I get it. Then he goes, all right, well then let me just tell you this: you're a guy, so the worst sex you ever have will be fantastic. And then he goes, so don't be a guy, be a man, make sure she has a good time too, and slaps me on the shoulder and leaves. And I was just like, well, I guess I got to do some research.
Hey, look,
That's some
I mean,
practice.
Amazing.
my thoughts are always this: I did my job. If you didn't do yours, that's really not my problem.
Doc's like, this isn't a marathon, honey. This is a sprint. And I won.
100%.
Awesome.
Mad Dog says, I just got Marvel Unlimited. Any recommendations? So let's see if we can get a recommendation from everybody. I will recommend that you go and check out the severely underrated John Byrne, Ron Garney Incredible Hulk run, which is a lot of fun, especially if you want to see Hulk move from town to town and just destroying stuff. Rady, you got any recommendations on a Marvel story that Mad Dog should check out? No classic, no favorite character?
No, I don't read a lot of superhero stories, so wrong
Well, it could have
person
been
to
Millie
ask.
the model.
Millie the Model, perhaps.
There you go.
You know what?
Dylan,
you are
what
going to
do
read
you
a super
recommend,
villain.
Dylan?
I'd say check out the Brubaker Fraction Iron Fist run. It's really good.
Oh, yeah, that's the only time Matt Fraction was a good writer. When
Yeah.
everybody was doing it for him. I remember that. What are you recommending, Doc? Let's not go too deep into the X-Men, though. Is he gone? He is muted. I think he left. There you go. All right, Russ, you got anything Marvel related that you would recommend?
Is that the Unlimited? Does it go back? Has it got old stuff on it?
It should have all the old stuff. That would be
Right.
the primary
Right,
reason you get Marvel
okay.
Unlimited.
And in that case, you go back, you go read any of the old adventures, the Defenders versus Avengers, the Kree War, any of that stuff, any of the Stalin stuff. Go back and read that. That's what you need to read.
Defenders versus Avengers. That was the first crossover story, I think, in comic book history.
Yeah, fantastic stuff. Some great stuff there from Sal Buscema. So go read
Great.
it. It's fun. It's fun. That's what comics should be. Fun. At least superhero comics, in my view, should be fun, fantasy, bright, enjoyable stories. Not a channel for every other genre you can pack into it. And that's what they were back then.
Sparrow, what do you recommend as far as old stuff on Marvel Unlimited?
I say go check out the Mark Gruenwald Captain America run. You know, you get some great Kieran Dwyer art up through, Ron Lim, and you get stories like the Bloodstone Hunt and Streets of Poison. Plus, you get the whole thing where Cap, the president fires Cap, and he gets replaced with John Walker. All that stuff that they're
Crossbones showing up. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you get Crossbones. When you get to Streets of Poison, you get Bullseye versus Crossbones. You get Daredevil versus Cap. You get Kingpin versus Red Skull. Like it's just really good stuff. With great Ron Garney art, and who was inking him at that time? Was it Danny Meeke? I think was inking him, and Ron's art has never looked better.
Absolutely. So Doc is not back, so I will do the recommendation for him. He's going to recommend that you go and read the Jerry Duggan X-Men run.
No, I'm not. The fuck I am. No. Well, first of all, I'm going to recommend you get your money back and go buy physical comics. But if you can't do that, because it's Marvel and they don't want to give you any of your money back. In fact, they just want more of your money. I am going to recommend that you pick up. You can always read the Claremont run on X-Men, but I'm pretty sure
it would take you a couple years.
Yeah, it would take you a couple of years. You can read the especially the Claremont Burn stuff. But I'd say read the read the Jerry Duggan X-Men. No, fuck you. No, absolutely not.
The Jason Aaron Wolverine, right? That's
the Jason Aaron Wolverine right after that. No, I'm gonna. You know what? Again, if you want something that's gonna last you a while, that you could keep coming back to, honestly, read the Bendis Ultimate Spider-Man. For the first 100 issues of that, it's really good. It's a lot of redoing variants on ASM arcs, but it is well done. Or just go read Kraven's Last Hunt.
Another very good story. I hope we were able to help you out, the Mad Dog, and thank you so much for supporting the channel. I guess we should sit into this. We had some big news the world is talking about. Mary Jane finally dumped Paul in the pages of All-New Venom this week. I think it's issue number 9. We've hated this character since his very first introduction during Zeb Wells' Amazing Spider-Man run. They would not give up on it. They continuously delivered it month after month. Now they're the focus point, or have been the focal point, of All-New Venom for quite some time. What do you think, Aaron? Was this a good thing? Were you happy that it finally happened? Did they do it well?
I don't care what they do anymore. I mean, to me, it doesn't matter because none of this matters. So, it's like, I don't trust them. I don't trust that this is going to stick. I think it's just another thing where Nick Lowe's like, well, let's tease them getting what they want, and then we'll just rip it away from them, because that seems to be his editorial style, is just continually piss off the fans, tease them with what they want, and then don't give it to them. So I have no faith in this, and I don't have any interest in it, and I'm not reading Amazing Spider-Man, so it makes no difference to me. What about you, Doc? Oh, is Doc gone again?
It's still gone. I did actually read this issue, and it's weird because I'll jump into some superhero books here and there, and then I'm like kind of wallowing in a void because I don't know the context. I've heard of everyone's frustrations at this character, and of course the frustrations that MJ is in with Spider-Man. Why is Spider-Man the way he is? Why is this happening? Why is this Paul character so hated? Like, what's the nuance of that?
Well, he's keeping Peter and Mary Jane apart in the fans' eyes is one thing, but he's also just such Yeah, and he's also just such an insufferable douche, and it's
He's
just
got a
such
man
a
bun.
stupid. He's got a man
Yeah,
bun. He's
saw
like
that.
sometimes he's like look, you gotta be like a Roman Reigns type to be able to pull off a man bun.
Yeah.
Because the rest of you is
True.
so manly that we don't like look at you and go, and Paul is not that. Although sometimes he's drawn like the Hulk and sometimes he's drawn like a skinny little wimpy dude. Like, there's no consistency.
First thing I saw is I flipped to the end to see. First of all, there were 5 pages of them breaking up in Venom. Was it?
It was.
And it's like,
it took so long.
really? And
Yeah,
also that last, you got a splash page for a man and a woman holding hands. I don't read superhero comics for that.
No,
Sorry.
remember when a splash page used to mean something?
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like I try to imagine, like, okay, and in this scene they're holding hands. She's saying, "I'm breaking up with you," and it needs to be a splash.
Yeah,
Why?
really? Yeah.
Why the hell would you do that? You make that the last panel on a page. Like, you don't do a whole splash.
It's not that you shouldn't put everything in the comics. There should be all kinds of comics for all kinds of people. Of course there should be. But for some reason, the mainstream, for a while now, have been trying to put every possible genre and mash it into the superhero genre. And that's why the books don't work. It doesn't matter what you do with them. You should be having, fun adventure stories with superheroes that are fantasy in their own way. This whole thing about, the world outside your window, it's only a passing resemblance. I shouldn't care about anything else except that who's punching who. Even if you look back and like the stuff I read as a kid when you had Johnny Storm chasing after Crystal, it's like, yeah, that was a part of the plot, but the whole point was that the Inhumans were going to get taken over, and it was a mad plot. And those were the points. It was supplemental. If you wanted romance, you could buy a romance comic.
I like romance in a book. Like, I like when they pair characters
a little
up
bit,
each other and things like that. But it's not unless it's a romance comic, it shouldn't be the main focus.
Exactly.
I don't.
I don't want it to be that. I want to have fun. I want to be entertained. And it's just I don't like you, Rennie. I don't read Spider-Man at the moment. And I picked up I looked through the Venom book, and first thing that hit me, although the art was not bad, I thought it was pretty good.
Oh, it's good art, yeah.
Yeah, and there was some action at the start, and I read through it, and I thought, I'm completely confused. You used to be able to pick up a book back in the day, and even though you were halfway through a story, you still kind of got the idea about what was going on. It was completely over convoluted. And then I got 5 pages of 2 people breaking up. So it's like that book was going back on the shelf. If I was in a comic book shop, they'd be back on the shelf. I'm not interested.
I think even if someone enjoys reading romance, it was I quite enjoyed the issue in isolation of like everything else that happened, because I feel like I needed a last time on page with plentiful information to get started, but the action was fun. The art was really good. I was staring at the art. I was like, these colors are really good, but I got bored reading the breakup scene. I was like, even if I like romance, it's taking way too long.
Yeah. And then
I get that they thought it was impactful. Like, this is the breakup moment, and this is what people want. So let's make it, let's make it a splash page.
Sure.
But then to have like multiple other pages devoted to it, it's like, is that what I'm here for? Or am I here for Spider-Man?
I also flicked through the Amazing Spider-Man book really quickly, and then I went back to read it. And again, the art was, I don't know, it felt like there was a lot of tracing in it personally. I don't know, maybe I'm being harsh. But I went back to the start, and I got to the point where there was a discussion about having some kind of reprogramming, that this person was going to be reported to HR because he was asking some woman out for a coffee or something. And I stopped reading.
That was just a joke. That was just banter.
I know. But I stopped reading. I was just like,
it was played as such a big deal. It was like science dinner. Oh no, that was such a definite HR violation. Like, listen, I've worked in corporate and people make worse jokes than that. It was not a big deal.
I just switched off. It just switched me off. And the art was okay, I suppose, but I just went, just couldn't be bothered with it. And I understand I'm old and I'm a bit of a dinosaur. But it turned me off. It just left me cold. Whereas the Captain America one, although I know Wes has some issues with it, it at least pulled me in. There was something going on.
I mean, there's always been a romance element to Spider-Man because you've always kind of like been invested in Peter Parker's love life and things like that. But it's like you're like, man, I hope he goes on this date and I hope he pulls it off, and then like it gets interrupted by the scorpion or whatever, and you're like, oh,
exactly.
But then you get a big scorpion fight, and it's fun, and it so like that's kind of like always been the balance. But it seems like lately, they just want writers just want to write scenes where people are standing around having conversations, and it's not exciting for the artist. The artist hates it.
It feels to me, and it felt a bit like that in the Captain America comic as well that we were looking at, was that the writer just wants to write for films or for TV. That they don't feel like they're writing a comic. I mean, that's just my personal opinion. I'm not getting that vibe from the comics that I love. It's just not the same anymore. But like I say, I'm a bit of a dinosaur. So,
well, you can have. If you're going to have pages where characters are having a conversation, it better be interesting. It better be punchy. It better be clever. There has to be a reason for you to be taking up that real estate just to do talking pages.
We look at artists.
You better bring your A game.
Yeah, we look at artists all the time on the stream that we do on a Friday, Comics by Night. I'd save it on my channel if anybody wants to look at it. There's lots. We do so many different artists. And you can look back at those artists from the 70s and 80s, even further back, actually, to be brutally honest. And they make a conversation interesting. They make every panel, it sucks you in, as against, I'll be honest, and fair to the books that we looked at. I didn't see too many sort of repeated panels of talking heads. But at the same time, it was dull. Those two Spider-Man issues, that one confused me and the other one was dull. So
yeah, it helps if it helps to have a writer that knows what they're doing, and if the dialogue is not boring, and if the writer writes something in like the characters are doing something while they're talking, which is the key to making a talking scene interesting. Other than you have to keep comics dynamic. You can't just cut from head to head like in a film, but if the characters are doing something while they're talking, and if that can reflect the subject that they're talking about in some thematic way, those are the best talking scenes. So the problem isn't people talking about things. If it's going on for too long or if it's not staged well, then you get bored.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And especially the angles.
Yeah.
Just the straight on flat angle conversations, it's not coming with different camera angles, it's not showing different parts of the room. I get it, it's artistic shortcuts, but it ends up with a really boring comic as a result. How to draw comics the Marvel way. I mean, it's literally all of these artists need this, or the writers need to read it to understand, to tell maybe the less experienced writer or artists that Marvel's hiring these days to change a fucking camera angle.
Yeah.
So that, this one, it's kind of shooting from below. This one, they're still all in the same room, but you're seeing different parts of it. You're seeing different backgrounds. They're not just sitting on a couch and it's just panning back and forth between two people. Have it looking from the ceiling. Give us different views. If you're going to just show the same boring scene, at least you can make it look like you didn't just literally copy paste a panel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In all fairness, in the books that we looked at today, there wasn't too much of that going on, but it was just, I think a lot of it was just the presentation. It didn't suck me in. And you're right, people need to understand, or artists need to understand how to make their pages dynamic without a big fight in them. It isn't all about action, but it is all about keeping the reader involved. And as soon as you stop doing that, then the reader falls out of the environment. The idea is that you give them a book, and for 10 minutes to half an hour, whatever it is it takes to read, okay, you're in that book. You never fall. You're there with it. And sometimes sloppy art or even dull art can do that. And then you're broken. You've broken the stream that you have between the book and you.
Yeah.
Giant Proof mentioned Wally was 22 panels.
Yes. Exactly.
That's a great starting point for artists in training. It's like 22 panels of how to frame a shot in a dynamic way. That's not just a straight on and like up and down, but there's also, you can use a framing device like a window. You can use shadows to create a different effect. Like, pull out all these tricks especially if you're doing a talking scene, because you need to hold the reader's interest.
That's my desktop wallpaper.
Did you know that it was originally the 23 panels at work, but they tried
Really?
to copy one of them, but it was so faded that they couldn't use it, so they scrapped it.
Oh, I want to know what that panel was now. It's lost knowledge.
I did a big look on Wallywood right before I went on vacation, so I was having to read up on all the stuff that he had done to do. It was either it was 23 or 24 panels that he originally had, but I guess he just had them pasted above his workspace to remind himself, and then a Marvel editor went and like copied them and started handing it out. So that's where that all came from. Oh,
damn
it's good to
genius.
get a little bit of history. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Wallywood was absolutely a genius. So what do you think, Dylan? Are we getting bait and switched here? Is Paul finally out of the picture? Are we not going to get this dipshit anymore in the comic books?
Yeah, but doesn't mean you're gonna get MJ and Peter. I feel like Paul's done for. I don't think they're gonna. There's no reason to bring him back. But MJ and Peter aren't gonna be a thing either. So
yeah, Peter
Kinda
just
what's the
dipped out
point?
on MJ and ASM. He just he's like, oh, you two deserve each other, and just left. That was
Yeah.
great.
that was the best part of the issue.
That's the reason I liked it so much. You know what's weird about that one, Dylan? They were talking about the art. Is I think Michael Dowling, the artist on that ASM issue, actually does a pretty good job. But that's easily the worst illustrated scene.
Yeah, that scene doesn't look great. Also, there's not a whole lot, like we were just talking about, of action for him to do. Because that final splash page of Spider-Man looks great. But for the most part, there's not a whole lot for the artist to do in that issue of Amazing Spider-Man.
But I thought it was great that he ghosted her after she did for Paul after he went to another like multiverse and saved her.
Yeah, I like even before she does the Venom reveal, he's like sick of her shit. Like when she first shows up, he's just like, he's like, get out of here. I have enough going on. I love that. That was good.
You never see that, Peter, with a little bit of self-respect.
Yeah.
Standing up for himself.
That's because none of the editors or writers at Marvel have any self-respect either.
So with this issue of All-New Venom, did anyone else feel, because to me it felt kind of like when you read old comics and there are some writers who are like, don't know that there's a visual element to this. It's like, you're not writing a book. You don't have to explain everything that's going on. A lot during the action, they're explaining what they're doing.
Yes.
It's like, I can fucking see it. Why are you explaining it? And it's weird because you get a lot of that with old time comics. It's like, I get it. But now, modern day, it's like, how are you're writing Venom and you're doing this style? Like, everyone knows you don't have to have the characters explain everything they're doing. I can see it. And I felt that while reading All-New Venom.
I think they had the letter on a retainer.
He's getting paid by the letter.
Yeah.
I think that you do that in the script stage if you're not sure like what artist you'll be working with. And let's face it, any writer at Marvel right now probably does not have a lot of editorial support, so you can't trust your editor to actually make the book good. So I feel like the writers that have a little bit of chops, they're overwriting to make sure that the artist gets it. But what should be happening is once the art comes in, the writer should be looking at the script and then saying, okay, I can trim this down. Like, for example, I always go through and I trim out dialogue when the artist has nailed it. It's like, okay, I don't need to have this in here anymore because it's visually on the page, so I can do something else. There needs to be like a lettering draft of the book. But these things are churned out so quickly and so haphazardly, and all of the assistant editors and all the editors that handle this, I'm sure they're all radically overworked on top of not being very good at their jobs to begin with. So I don't think that the writers get a chance to look at the art to go back and refine anything. I think it's just fire off a script and forget about it, and then the book comes out.
That also necessitates the writer being paid enough to bother to do that second run through. I mean, look at Gail. We know that I don't think she's written a second draft in 15 years.
I mean, that's fair. But at the end of the day, and like Jesse Snyder famously tells a story, I think he's told it on the channel here with Wes, of a writer that said like, well, the amount of drafts that I do is based on like what I'm getting paid. And so like I don't even bother. And Jesse's opinion was, but that's still your name that's on it. Like that's your reputation.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. That's the way it should be looked upon. But I mean, come on. These fucking guys are still going to get hired regardless.
But the problem with All-New Venom is not the art. Carlos Gomez is actually pretty awesome, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, it's
and Al's been working with Carlos Gomez the entire time.
Yeah. So at this point, Al Ewing should know better for what his artist is and is not capable of conveying through the art. No, I think Al just doesn't give a shit.
Is Carlos an English speaker though? Because that might be like why the script is kind of like overwritten. But still, it should be refined.
I'm not sure.
Be overwritten in the description and not the dialogue, though.
Yeah, exactly.
But felt like Carlos Gomez pretty much nailed it all. Like the visual storytelling's good, even though there's too many symbiotes and all that kind of stuff in there. But the art itself,
the art was really good. I was looking at how much. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I was looking at the art and paying attention to the background. So I was mentioning how in talking scenes, it helps have people doing things. And I noticed that in the action scenes, that was actually done very well because between one panel to the next, Gomez was hinting at what happened in between with like background elements, like a character would have just broken out of his shackles between the panels, but you'd see the shackles flying in the air as the character jumped forward, and I forgot the character's name, but the visual storytelling was really well done until the end. So I wonder, like, was that a lack of support in the writing department, or what the issue was? Yeah, I thought the art was overall good.
By the way, it's perfectly fine. We all forgot the name of all these characters.
It was too many characters. I was like, there's Venom.
There's too many that look all
Sleeper.
exactly the same.
That's it.
Toxin, Sleeper, Anti-Venom.
Yeah. Paul's just going to get a symbiote, right? That's where this is going.
Well, they have the extra one that Flash Thompson had to like suck in the Anti-Venom, like I guess into his balls. So he grabbed the other one.
He sucked it deep inside his cells.
Sucked it up.
Balls are in the cells. Cells are in the balls. Damn it.
But
drop the ball.
I was glad to see it, though, because those two should have been together for a while. But I guess Al Ewing had hinted that he realized that MJ and Paul should be together. And even Carlos Gomez, the artist, has said, I hate this couple. I don't even like straight kids.
Maybe that's why they're like, I just want to get through this romance scene. Oh, please free me.
Yeah. That's probably it.
What did you think of the writing there, Reedy? Because I thought they went too hard in the paint to make Paul like sympathetic, to where he's pouring his heart out and I will fix all of my problems. I know exactly what I did wrong. And then she's like, yeah, I have a thing with running away. And me being with you was running away for something better.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I think I needed a last time on page to really be invested in the relationship. It's like I kind of felt bad for him, but also not. I don't really know how to feel about that whole situation.
If you'd been with Paul all along, you wouldn't feel bad.
I didn't feel bad for him at all. I've not seen any dialogue between them before, and I thought he was a cuck. There you go.
Exactly.
It's like, it's not me. It's not you. It's me. Yeah, like that's because you're just a crap boyfriend. Now get out.
But I think in the end, it kind of made MJ look bad when it didn't need to. Everybody hates the character. Just point out all of his flaws and throw it in her mouth and let her break up with him.
Yeah.
It needs to be like Parker Posey dressing down her boyfriend and kicking and screaming, where she's like, "You're that shirt, those pants,
the Will Ferrell
hair."
movie?
No, the good one. She's like, "Those pants, that shirt, your hair drives me crazy. Just get out." That should have been like MJ. That man bun, just get out.
The whole running away thing was not very necessary. I think So that's what someone does when you're not saying what the real problem is. Just say what the real problem is. What is I run away from my problems, and to not run away anymore, I need a breakup. Okay. What's the actual issue though? It was hard to feel like this was something to be invested in.
It just kind of made her look bad to me.
Yeah,
she
it
should have just been
did.
like, "You're a douchebag. Get the hell out of my apartment."
MJ had just bought some of Doc's cock block TM.
Maybe that's what he
did
needed.
the job. Yeah.
Well, that's what Dylan's basically been the entire time. We didn't even get to see Dylan dress it down. That's always been the highlight of All-New Venom, was Dylan going in there and calling Paul a cuck to his face. Like, I'm tired of you being a simp here.
You mean Dylan here on the panel? Like Dylan goes in,
like Dylan Brock, Eddie Brock's son that she's basically adopted.
Calls Paul a cuck and then recommends K-pop Demon Hunters. That's what happened?
Yes. Exactly what happens. So there we go. The relationship probably over, but a lot of people aren't exactly trusting this one, but we'll see what happens. What will you remember about Paul, Aaron?
When I think of Paul, and I will think of him, I will think how it is just just one of the worst ideas that they have ever had in the Amazing Spider-Man. One of the worst ideas they've ever had in any of the Spider-Man mythos, and the fact that they kept it going so long. I will remember the FU that Marvel continually gave the fans with this character.
Man, I'm so over symbiotes, because now you have Venom, Sleeper, Toxin, Anti-Venom, Carnage. There's another one called Tantrum that's on Spider-Gwen right now. There was another Venom symbiote that was on Black Widow.
There's Mania, there's Lasher, there's Phage, there's so many damn symbiotes.
That's a lot.
It's too much. There needs to be one or two.
Yep. Yeah. It's a cool idea. But like how are you supposed to keep track of that?
No.
Well, that's the problem, is all the ideas that Marvel has are ideas from writers from 30 years ago. And so Marvel is just the house of recycled ideas at this point. It's like they can't even come up with new names for their crossovers. They're even recycling those. Like, I'm waiting for the announcement, like, we're doing Acts of Vengeance again. It's like, oh God, and it makes it tough to recommend things, because if you recommend you're like, hey, you should read Secret Wars, and people are like, yeah, which one? And you're like, oh yeah,
that's why I have trouble getting into superhero comics. It's not because I'm not willing to. Where do I start, and what are the good ones? It's impossible to begin.
You should read a super villain comic. There's one called Kneel Before Doomface that I think you might like.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that. Heard it's pretty great. I'll check that out.
I like the way you did that.
Hey.
So what do you think, Dylan? You're more of a DC guy coming over. Like, there's just too many symbiotes, right?
Yeah, who cares? They tried to do it in the last Venom movie too, where they introduced a ton of them, and it did not work out.
You watched the last Venom movie?
Yeah, I've seen all 3 of them.
Was it good?
No, the last one was terrible. The first 2 weren't very good, but they were like dumb fun. The last one's not even dumb fun. It's terrible. The last one's really bad.
So it had like Sleeper and Toxin and all that crap?
I don't remember their names, but something like that. Yeah, it legitimately it sidelines Eddie Brock and just focuses on these other characters. Even though it's the final one, it's titled The Last Dance. Like, this is the final one. It's supposed to be the emotional impact of the final in the trilogy. And then they just sideline the main character of the trilogy and focus on other people. It was really stupid.
But I don't even like the concept of Sleeper as a cat that uses Rick Jones as a drone.
Yeah, it's weird. This is my first time reading Venom since Donny Cates' run. So I had no idea what the hell was going on. It was really weird.
Well, you didn't miss much, because he wrote like 3 years of Venom books and didn't really do anything. But I guess the big change is Mary Jane. But this Venom isn't even selling well. The Donny Cates book was always in the top 10. This one's barely in the top 100 now.
Can't say I'm surprised.
Al Ewing.
Yeah.
He's a big time. And Immortal Hulk was a top 10 seller for about 2 years.
It's because it was a good Hulk book.
That's true. Hulk was good.
It doesn't need... Okay, Bruce Jones wrote a pretty good Hulk book too. What did he ever do afterwards? Nothing, because nobody gives a shit about Bruce Jones.
Greg Pak wrote a pretty good Hulk book, with Mark Paniccia's idea.
Yeah. Didn't Greg Pak end up doing some Batman after that, though?
But it was always shit. Everything
do you
did
remember
afterwards
it?
was shit.
I remember I didn't want to read it.
You would not read the work of Asian writer Greg Pak?
He actually had a good Firefly book there for 3 issues, but then he totally lost the voice of the entire cast. It was weird. He must have had somebody helping him.
You know what? Maybe we're too harsh on some of the creators. Now, not all, but on some of them, because can you imagine like not having anything of your own to work on? It's just such a difference going from working on corporate stuff and working on stuff that other people own to like doing your own stuff. And these guys, they don't have an audience outside of the mainstream. If Greg Pak launches a book, who shows up? And like that's got to grind you down. And working on Marvel and DC books and not doing anything else and having to deal with that editorial and their edicts and like it's just got to wear you down to the point where you do get like this is good enough for who it's for. What I'm making and the treatment that I'm getting. Maybe that's why people are just turning in, at least some of them are turning in substandard work. The ones that aren't total hacks.
I can't remember the name of it. There was a creator-owned Greg Pak book I read last year that was the worst thing I read. But
it is really hard. Yeah. Oh, sorry. As someone who has worked very briefly for Marvel and various other corporate, it's so hard to focus on your own stuff. They kind of do beat you down creatively, and it's just the nature of the job, so it takes up your time, it takes up all your creative energy, and it's very disheartening because when you're even in the convention scene and when you're working on publisher books, everyone cares about that. They don't care about your personal stuff. So you're very disincentivized from working on that unless you just make the commitment to completely focus on creator-owned stuff 100%. So, but then if you stick with corporate art or publisher stuff, it kind of is soul-sucking in a way. So I think a lot of people just become jaded.
Definitely see that. Let's hear for the peoples. They are also interested in this. Sleep it, Dakel. MJ and Paul broke up. Spider-Man is fixed. I said sarcastically.
That's one problem down. It's not all of them.
Well, it didn't even happen in Spider-Man. It happened in Venom. It was kind of weird.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the MJ book.
Yeah. What else do they need to fix in Spider-Man, Doc, before you think it's all good?
Everything? I mean, hey, how about let's not turn him into a cosmic being?
That was a bad idea. It hasn't even happened yet.
It hasn't even happened. It's already the worst idea they've had since Red and Blue Superman. No, I mean,
you're liking Joe Kelly though.
I don't mind the Spider-Man book right now. MJ needs to be a supporting character in a Spider-Man book with no Paul anywhere near the equation. They can be friends, they can be dating, they can be, working towards getting married. Who the fuck knows? She needs to not be a superhero. And the idea that a female character, like a supporting character, is only of value if they also have powers is something that it seems like the editorial department at Marvel believes. That's the way they act. That's the way they represent and they treat their female supporting cast. If you don't have powers, you're essentially a damsel, and we're not going to do that. So they have no problem making. I mean, now I think the thing that they could do to help Spider-Man get better, they can have him accidentally, Paul like hitchhikes or catches a ride where whenever Spider-Man goes to space, and then Spider-Man can accidentally leave him in space, like just in the void of
Superman.
space. No, like oops, you fell out of an airlock.
Send it to Earth 3, and he can get tormented by evil versions of Spider-Man.
I mean, that's fine too, but I mean, just drop him out of an airlock. That way he's dead. He needs to be dead and never coming back. Throw him into a sun. That tends to do the job, especially for humans.
Baja Cat Now that he and MJ are over, Marvel need to remove Paul from comic book life forever in the most horrible, brutal Final Destination type way. Do this, Marvel, and I'll buy your book.
Speaking of,
Yeah, so there you go, Doc. He is throwing him into the sun brutal enough.
No, that's too quick.
What are you going, wood chipper?
Paul needs to be captured by Cletus Cassidy and like slowly taken apart.
I mean, I'm fine with that, except for if there's symbiotes involved, he'll somehow bond with one and become, I don't know, what's more violent than Carnage.
Now he'll become Cucknage.
Yeah. He'll just be Paulnage.
What if he goes on a hunger strike and then you just watch him like wither away over a year as MJ refuses to go out with him again?
No, because they'll bring it's. Honestly, I'm fine with unceremonious, just like double tap to the back of the head while you're walking. Okay, did everybody see Fast Five, where the main bad guy that played the drug dealer in Rio, when there's this whole chase at the end and he's sitting there laying on the ground and he's kind of like injured, and The Rock just walks past him and double taps him in the head and just completely unceremoniously kills this fucking guy off. That's the way we need to treat Paul. Just walk by, he's dead, and everybody moves on, and they literally don't talk about it again. Although until Jason,
like they call him what's his name? Remember when what's his name died?
Yeah, exactly. They just refer to him as that drug dealer that we robbed in Rio.
No, I'm talking about Paul. Yeah.
Bring Paul back later as like Rickety Cricket style from Always Sunny, where he's just more and more pathetic and just pining after MJ. That's what they should do.
I mean,
just humiliate Paul in every way possible.
We all enjoy seeing Paul used as the emotional punching bag and possibly the physical punching bag of every character that he runs across. You can make him the most pathetic excuse for a character to ever exist. Everybody shits on this dude in every interaction. The fucking Starbucks lady.
True. I remember Captain America saying that he had a great dinner. Or
I know that was back whenever they were still trying to get us to like Paul.
Well, Cap's always going to be nice.
I would. It would be funny if he just handed Paul his shield and told him to go polish it. If even Captain America, if even Captain America's like, all right, shoe shine boy, take care of my shield.
Yeah, Captain's like his vegan roast was just to die for. Thank him so much.
Yeah, but that's what we need. We need literally even the nicest characters to treat Paul like absolute garbage. And even then, none of us will ever feel bad for him. He's a character.
You know what I want to see? I want to see Paul degraded to such a degree that the last appearance he ever makes in a comic book is he's sitting at the bar drinking, and Soap from Garth Ennis's Punisher run is sitting next to him and is like, you're kind of pathetic.
Yeah. Even Soap telling him that.
Yeah, if you know the character of Soap from Garth Ennis's Punisher run, you know what a diss that is.
Sleepy Dakel says the biggest problem with Paul is that he's a tangible representation of editorial's contempt for fans. Breaking them up doesn't undo the repeated slaps to the face.
That is correct.
Fair.
This is true.
I saw someone saying that Paul was essentially a self-insert for the creator.
You can stop that sentence at the biggest problem with Paul is that he's a tangible representation of editorial. Just stop it there.
Yeah.
That's what it is. That's what's happening with a lot of books. So just self-insert.
Not wrong.
It's I don't want to know what your opinions are. Write a great story, and maybe sometimes you can sneak some of yourself in there for me to decide upon as a reader. But the rest of it, I don't want to know.
Yeah, I thought it was great when they got rid of the kids, and it's like, oh yeah, they just weren't really even tangible. But this guy just stuck around. They couldn't figure it out. But it does feel like, I think that's the reason why people hate the character so much, Doc, is because it's clear that the character didn't work, but they wouldn't stop because they had to make it work.
Correct. It's the
Roman Reigns problem.
It's
You
the
try to
Roman-
say he's the number one guy, and then everyone rejects it.
Yeah, it's the Roman Reigns problem. It's the Carol Danvers problem. It's
A Kamala Khan
the
problem.
Kamala Khan after the first 6 issues problem. It's the this is gonna get over, and we're not gonna give up on it no matter what. I mean, this is the John Cena when they were still piping in cheers for him during the beginning part of the Super Cena era. And everybody's like, fuck this guy, go away. Like, I mean, he's got the most X-Pac heat that I have ever seen on a character, and they refuse to make him go away.
Yeah. Thankfully, hopefully he's gone now. We'll see what happens. Baja Cat says Peter actually closing the door on this terrible MJ and ghosting her brought a tear to my eye.
Yeah,
I mean, we keep saying ghosting. He didn't really ghost her. He told her we're done, and he just walked away. Like ghosting would be if he just didn't even, but like if he didn't talk to her at all. Like just
I'm sorry, I
left
used
her on red, as the kids say.
Yeah,
Is that what I should have said?
if he would have just
No, you
like
were down with the kids, Aaron.
It's like I know a lot of slang. I'm hip. I'm with it.
like if
I got Dylan to advise me, what more do I need?
yeah,
Hello,
like
fellow kids.
he could granted though, the only way they could have actually made it a little bit funnier is if Peter would have just after MJ kept talking, and Peter just doesn't say a word and just walks back into his apartment and closes.
So that would have been better.
Yeah.
But
Would've been nice.
it was nice for him to actually stand up for himself. But I'm with you, Baja Cat. That's the best thing Peter's done in a decade. Glad it finally happened. HH at Sigma Comics. Shout out to the Thinking Critical team from Terrificon and Fan Expo Boston. You're at both? That is insane.
He is.
Oh.
He is.
Support your favorite comics channel. Hit like, subscribe, and grab some comics on the site.
Did he and Casey just like split shows? Like that's crazy.
He is omniscient. He is in all places at all times.
He's going to have dinner
he works so
with
hard.
Sully and Drew.
Yeah, he is present at all cons at all times in all places.
And that's why he sells books by the tonnage instead of by the unit.
That's why HH needs to be a character called Convergence. See, he's just at like every single con all at once.
Oh, very, very good. So if you're at Terrificon or Fan Expo Boston, definitely seek out the Sigma Comics booth. Great people there, and I think you'll have a good time. He'll probably sell you on a great comic book. Kalichi Oki, I'll say it again, Gomez is wasted there at Marvel.
He is.
Yep.
At least on like a D tier title like All-New Venom.
He should be on an Absolute book. He should be on Absolute Wonder Woman or something. He'd make that book look really good.
Oh, he would.
Thanks to everybody roasting me in the chat. I actually really like it. It's funny. No cap.
No cap.
No cap.
People are roasting you? What are they saying about you?
No,
Is it good?
making fun of they're just like, I'm like, how do you do, fellow kids? And talking about how old I sound when I use those terms.
Good job, guys. You just made fucking Rainey like deuces out.
He's like, I am not old enough to sound this old.
Yeah.
I think that she, if anything, she bailed out because she was like, I just can't stand talking about Paul anymore. Oh my god.
Fuck this dude.
Oh, we're talking about Carlos Gomez. What an amazing artist he is.
He really
Should
is.
be. Who would you like to see Carlos Gomez on, Dylan?
At DC or at Marvel?
Oh yeah, DC. You're the DC guy.
Man, DC. I think who could use a pick me up right now? Because I immediately went Green Arrow, but I really like Montos on Green Arrow right now. But I'd like
He'd
to
be
see
awesome
him
on
draw
a
Green Arrow.
Flash book.
Flash would be cool. Yeah, I'm not reading Flash ever since Spurrier took over. So I was thinking of Flash.
Yeah, Gomez is awesome. Definitely deserves a better book. Michael Desch says, "How does Irene think the climate inside Marvel has changed since she was there?"
Well, I don't
Let's
know.
pull
I
back the
don't.
curtain.
I don't know. I mean, I don't work there. So it's hard to say. Yeah, I think from the limited amount of superhero stuff that I come into contact with, I think there are people trying to turn a new leaf. I don't know if it's working, but that's most of what I gather. Because when I was there was a lot of agenda pushing, and it just felt like a lot of talent going to waste. Honestly, I was seeing a lot of that. And right now, I will say there's so much good art coming out there. At least the artists are all doing really good work. I don't really see like books coming out of Marvel with terrible artwork. I don't know about the writing, but yeah, I mean, people probably are trying to change things, but I don't know if it's working super well yet.
So the agendas and message pushing was pretty blatant in your eyes when you went in?
It was, but it was, I mean, I was in the thick of things. It was like 2016 to 2018-ish. So it was when things were, it was so political. And it's part of why I was like, it was really cool to, I mean, most comic artists there, even though I didn't grow up with superhero comics, it's really cool to work for Marvel. But it felt like, it was just so political, and it pushed me to want to make my own thing because I wanted to have some creative freedom in the end. And I think things have gotten better, but what do I know? Like, I have an outsider's perspective now.
I would say the storytelling is actually worse right now.
Really?
This might be the worst creative period, just writing wise, for Marvel, maybe in history. Nothing's really working right now.
Do you think the art is getting better?
They have some really good artists, but they also have some bad artists. But you get your Carlos Gomez, you got your Marco Cicchetto, you've got your your Ed McGuinnesses are still there. So they got some decent artists, but they have a lot of people that are really bad that are coming over from like their Infinity Comics line, which is like a digital only line that they're moving and like graduating up, and they're not very good, unfortunately. But they're not on their big books yet, thankfully.
Yeah. Okay.
DC definitely has the better art right now. It's not particularly close, but their writing is also much better. Kaiser Jose says Paul is who Marvel wants to be reading their books.
Mm-hmm.
It's fair.
I think you might be right. They're trying to push us all into being Paul's, and I see you got a 420 in there as well.
Hey.
I guess we're good with the edibles. Very nice. Baja Cat. I like that approach, Doc. A casual mention like, oh, did you hear Paul was slowly eaten alive by a pack of wild pigs last week?
Yes. Yeah. Like just casual mentions. And
Captain
honestly,
Marvel or Captain America hears it. He goes, oh, that guy? I never liked him anyway.
yeah.
that
And
was
you know what?
polite.
You could actually make it a gag where every single issue, everybody hears that Paul died, but a different way. And then it just becomes a running gag. And he's never seen again. Nobody ever hears from him. He doesn't pop back in like, I'm still alive. No. and honestly, you could even do a little, the anti-event of how did Paul die? And everybody they start it that way. Nobody cares, and they all just go on their own way.
You make it like the legend of Johnny Noodles in The Goon. If you guys have read The Goon, there's always a story. Like you always cut into a scene, and they're always telling a story about some crazy thing that Johnny Noodles did, and you never see him. And he's never a character in the book. So you just make Paul that. He never comes back in the book, but there's always that thing of, oh, did you hear? Yeah, I heard he was torn apart by wild pigs. No, I heard that he tripped and fell head first into a wood chipper, and then later in the book, somebody else is like, oh, that Paul guy. Oh yeah, didn't he like fall off of a building and land on a flagpole and like all the way, just
Spider-Man watched the whole time.
Spider-Man watched the whole time, just like sipping a coffee.
Yeah, he fell butthole first onto a flagpole. It was so crazy.
It took him 3 days to reach the bottom. Nobody helped.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a very hated character. Amazing.
Nobody likes Paul. But it's nice to say everyone's taking so much creative liberties on how they should kill him.
How do you think Paul should die? Put your best suggestion in the chat.
Absolutely. And Doc, you don't fall butthole first onto a flagpole. You get impaled. That's what that's called. Come on.
Yeah, no, we just want to say he fell butthole first.
For some reason, that just makes me laugh.
Exactly. It's funnier that he was impaled on a flagpole, because that could have also just gone through his stomach.
Yeah,
and out his back.
He needs to go down the full on, Vlad the Impaler way, where he just like, slowly slides down.
Vlad the Impaler had a special technique to where you would be alive when he was done.
Yeah.
Not a nice guy. So there we go. We do have a DC topic to talk about. Certainly the hottest thing in all of comic books when it comes to the mainstream American stuff is Absolute Universe. Absolute Batman #1, or Absolute Batman's #1 book. Absolute Superman's still doing well. Wonder Woman's still doing well. Martian Manhunter still is inexplicably doing well. Green Lantern, not so much, it appears. But we're finally, Dylan, going to start seeing the first appearances of Absolute Universe characters in DC Comics in a month or so. In Superman, we're going to see an Absolute Superman character. I believe it's not going to be Absolute Superman, but a supporting character show up in the Superman book. Does this get you excited? Do you think this is smart to start weaving some of these Absolute Universe characters into the Prime Universe?
Potentially, because there's so much, like, you want to do it, you want to strike while the iron's hot, and right now the Absolute Universe is hot, so if you take too long, it could be bad. But also they're talking about how, like, we're not going to cross over for a while, it's going to take a while, we're going to get everyone established, and now they're like, we're crossing over. But again, I do get it, because right now the Absolute Universe is the talk of the town, so you want to do it before that cools off. So I get it. And right now, DC's doing a pretty good job. It's just this type of stuff is where they haven't really nailed it yet. The sort of overarching stories, the trying to get everything together for a big event. That's where they've been failing. That's it. Because for the rest of DC, for the most part, DC's really good right now. It's just their big event stuff that they haven't really figured out, because Williamson didn't do good, Wade didn't do good, and Snyder before didn't do good. So now they're trying to figure out how to do a big event, and we'll see if they can do it with crossing over Absolute with Prime DC. It'll be interesting. I have no idea how it's going to be, because this is the first time DC's really doing this. So I don't know, because we've got these alternate universe characters from the Absolute Universe, and it could be really fun to see them interact with their Prime Universe counterparts. But with this first little dip in the toe in, I don't know how it's going to be. I'm excited for it, though. I'm excited to see how it goes, but we're just going to have to wait and see. We don't have a whole lot of info on this. Is the problem. So there's not much to talk about with this, because
I didn't want to jump in.
Yeah, there's nothing I can really say about this.
I didn't want to jump in because I've been accused of there's nothing that Sparrow hates more than dead air. I'm just trying to be quiet.
Yeah, because we got that Bleeding Cool article, and that was basically all we got.
It seems, from my take on it, it is DC jumping the gun again. They have been accused of doing this on a number of occasions. Primarily their film universe. Absolutely 100% jumping the gun. This still seems like jumping the gun. I get that they want to strike while the iron's hot and everything, but if they go too soon, it kind of makes it not really matter whenever they do like the big deal crossover. Unless this is gonna be the big deal crossover, in which case, Jesus, you're doing it after like less than 12 months. Like, that's not really the way to. I mean, somebody's got to. Can Jim Lee call, like, I don't know, Vince McMahon and ask him to teach him about, like, long-term storytelling? Holy shit.
It'd be nice if anybody had any interest in long-term storytelling, but they can't keep a book going long enough to have a long-term story. And that's what killed me on like everything that I ever did is like, I am a long-term storyteller. I want to plant seeds and I want to have those seeds pay off later. It's like I grew up on Claremont where it's like, hey, here's a subplot. See you in 3 years. It's like, I loved that kind of, I loved that kind of thing. And so,
that's exactly what Philip Kennedy Johnson's been doing in all his DC work that is now concluding with Book of L. So just saying, if you're looking for long-term storytelling, everything he's done from Superman to his John Stewart Green Lantern to now Batman and Robin is leading in to what he's doing with Book of L. So if you're looking for that,
and that's exactly what a lot of people what they want out of it. And look, I mean, Absolute DC has been their biggest cash cow since New 52.
Yeah, probably. I think that's probably fair.
I think it probably is. Yes, Rebirth was much more critically lauded.
Rebirth also, wasn't that like the last time they took over Marvel for just like a tiny little bit was during Rebirth?
Yeah.
So Rebirth did really good.
Yeah.
But Marvel has
Until they're like, let's crash this ship. Here's Bendis.
Bendis is coming all over everything.
We're doing too good. How did Marvel go to the shitter? Yeah, let's bring Bendis in.
And to get Bendis for such an exorbitant price at the tail end,
when he hadn't written a good comic in years, clearly all his talent is gone now. He's not who he once was.
Mm-hmm. He's spent. He's Kevin Feige right now. He's on the mound, but he should have been pulled out of the game a long time ago.
Yeah, he's done.
And so that's pulling the trigger on this now seems like premature ejaculation.
It does seem early, but again, it's better to do it early than late. I'll say that. At least now you have the readers. Because if you do it later when no one gives a crap about the Absolute Universe, it could be bad. It just depends on the execution of this. So far, it's been interesting because they brought in the Dark Legion of superheroes that Darkseid's been using, and I really like that first issue of Superman with Saturn Girl was great. Especially we got a really nice splash page of them walking through. That was great. So far, it's been interesting. It's just if you can really have it mean something, if you can have this crossover mean something, and then also have everyone go their separate ways afterwards, because I don't think anyone wants Absolute and Prime Universe to constantly be crossing over or be in communication or anything, because that's what people like about Absolute, is that it's different and it's separated. So if they can execute it well, I don't think there's any problem with it. But it is much sooner than I thought, especially when they first announced it and Snyder was like, we're going to wait a while. Not even the Absolute characters are going to cross over with each other for a while. And now it's like everyone's meeting.
Yeah, I mean, that's very, very much the Marvel. Remember Joe Quesada very clearly stating, if the Ultimate Universe ever interacts with the 616, it is proof positive that Marvel is out of ideas.
Yeah.
Well,
it's a senior exec's decision. It's not a writing decision. It's got to be about money.
I think what it is, I was just doing a June comic sales wrap up thing for the Patreon, the channel members. But if you see the sales on all the DC books that aren't Absolute, it appears that all the sales have decreased on everything but Batman. It's really strange. It's like everyone, instead of getting more DC books, they just started buying the Absolute books and stopped paying attention to everything else. Like Detective Comics is out of the top 50 now. Well, Batman and Robin is out of the top 100.
Fix your damn mainline universe.
That's I'm with Aaron. Yeah, it's not because of the Absolute. It's because it's just crap.
No, there's a lot of great mainline DC books. Yeah, there's a lot of Batman and Robin is one of the best out right now. It not being top 100 is a crime.
Then they need to find some way of marketing it properly.
Exactly.
They need to communicate this to people. They need to communicate just how good their main line is. The Absolute line or the Ultimate line or whatever. These are Elseworlds for all intents and purposes. They're what ifs. Yeah. Okay, and that's not going to work. The whole point of what ifs is they aren't part of the mainstream. Even if you, okay, fair enough. If you do like an interim crossover just for the fantasy of it, yeah, fine. But you've got to stick with the main stuff, and you have to communicate that to your audience, and that I think is what they're not doing. And yes, I don't read a lot of DC. I'll be honest, but I believe you. I'm sure there are several fantastic titles in there, but they've kind of muddied the water over the past 10. 15 years, and that's the problem. And it's like you have another discussion on here. We're talking about the MCU and stuff like that, and the reason is that people have been pushed away. Audiences have been pushed away. Okay, and now the hard part is getting them back. Okay, so Absolute is obviously a way of bringing people in, but it's the only way to make the other stuff work is to make sure it's good enough and to communicate that to your audiences.
Yeah, I think they're using the shortcut. They're going to start sneaking these absolute supporting characters in between the two, and hopefully that brings people over. But like right now,
We'll see.
Flash, which is a bad book, no doubt about it, isn't a top 200 selling comic book. That is shocking because Flash is a perennial top 25 selling comic book.
Well, it's not shocking. It's not shocking when you consider that they cut Jeremy Adams' legs out from under him and handed the book to Cy Spurrier. Then it makes perfect sense. And that's something that's going on in the chat right now, is they're talking about the fact that like Jeremy Adams is carrying DC on his back with good titles. But even the
sales on his books they're not.
Yeah, people aren't checking them out. People aren't checking them out. They're not reading Aquaman. They're not reading this Green Lantern stuff. And you should be, if you have any interest in DC at all or the DC universe, you should be checking out Jeremy Adams stuff. But it's like everybody's saying here he is carrying DC on his back with like the best quality stuff that they have. And who is DC focused on? Dennis Campbell. That's our next big star. Let's hand it all to him.
Yeah, it was pretty wild. I'm going to do a whole video on it. I couldn't believe the state of the bottom of the DC universe because it's got Green Lantern, Green Arrow, Aquaman, Flash, Batman and Robin, Batman Dark Patterns, like all their good books are also down there. It's shocking. But so we're going to be getting more of these crossovers. I imagine they will be showing up in the DC KO event too, because without the absolute characters, it almost looks like no one's going to care.
It also doesn't seem like the KO event makes any fucking sense.
It's
without the absolute characters. With the premise of the book, though.
Yeah. Dark side.
Well, let's hope. I mean, they've got to. It's also a gamble because number one, they're doing it way sooner than they probably should because they want the sales now. Like, what did we talk about, Wes? I told you like some of the insight that Dan DiDio gave me. It's like, even if you're like, hey, we had this initiative and we raised sales like 30%, then they're like, it's like you expected 10% and we hit 30, and then they're like, oh, good, now do 30 again, and you're like, well, continual, like perpetual growth is not possible, but that's the way that the executives look at it. So what DC is doing is they're saying like the absolute line is selling really well and our other titles are flagging. Let's cross them over and pull the other titles up because of the absolute universe. But what you risk doing is you risk doing what IDW did when they said like, hey, some of our Hasbro books are struggling. Let's put everything in one big universe because Transformers is selling really well. And then the takeaway from that was like, oh, the sales on everything came down, and they blamed, they said, oh, well, all this baggage on Transformers dragged it down. Now, in IDW's case, it was a little bit different. That's not what killed it. What killed it is they made Transformers a book about Transformers. They started putting a bunch of identity politics into a book about robots where it didn't belong. And so Transformers fans walked away. But DC kind of has the same, it's the same gamble. If you attach the regular universe, which is having trouble, to the absolute universe, which is doing well, does that elevate the DC universe and get people interested, or does it just drag down the absolute universe?
I think it absolutely drags down the absolute universe. I mean, I know, Dylan, you mentioned earlier that they want to do this and striking while the iron's hot because the big risk is doing it too late. I don't think that's the risk. The risk is not allowing the fire that is underneath the absolute books to burn for as long as it possibly can before you try for essentially a grand finale. Because anything you do after that crossover, you're going to bring down. It's going to be a drop down. It was the same thing as when Donny Cates' Venom was kind of on fire in those first 10, 12, 15 issues. And then the first payoff with Absolute Carnage took place in a miniseries. And then the end of it, the next big payoff took place in the King in Black miniseries. You kept pulling the payoffs out of it. It killed the sales on Donny Cates, on the Venom book. It brought them way down afterwards, and it took a little while after each time to build it back up. I don't know if people are, and that's in a very, very different market than we're in right now. I don't know if a book recovers after it gets the big payoff, but continues going on.
It all depends on the execution of it. If they're doing the whole where it's like part 1 is in this, part 1 of this story is in this issue of Absolute Batman, part 2 is in mainline Batman, part 3 is in Absolute Flash, then yes, I agree. But if you're just advertising it in Absolute Books or teasing in Absolute Books and be like, hey, go buy this, and I don't think it will necessarily derail the Absolute Books and kill those books. It all depends on the execution of this.
As long as they aren't integral to the story being told.
Yeah, as long as it's not where it's like, hey, everything's tying in and you're just derailing what's currently going on in those Absolute Books and killing those stories, then I don't think it'll have that big of an impact on the Absolute Books themselves.
Yeah. But it was pretty wild. It was very eye-opening seeing just kind of the state of everything outside of Absolute for DC is. Besides Batman, it's basically nothing's even working. Not even Superman is a top 50 selling book, I think, right now. I think it was number 51.
Sad.
And Superman's really good, and it's got Dan Mora, one of their superstar artists on it.
Kind of got him on it. Eddie Barrows is on there for a while, and now Dan Mora's back.
Yeah. He must have been over there doing that Transformers book with Kirkman or whatever, right?
Yeah, and they throw him on Justice League Unlimited all the time, so he's doing a bunch of different stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. Can you imagine that, Rainey? I know you're an artist, and Russ, you're an artist. Like, Dan Mora is doing two issues a month every month. He's been doing that for 2 or 3 years.
Is that penciling or inking?
Pencils only, I believe.
Pencils only. Yeah. Could do that.
This is pretty
That's
good. 48
doable.
pages.
I don't necessarily say I could do as good as Dan Mora, but I could do it.
That's still a lot of work, but yeah, for pencils, that is.
It's like
that is
10 hours a day
impossible.
every day, though, right?
Yeah. Well, if that's your passion, yeah. I as much as I complain about modern books, somebody turns up and says, "Do you want to crack at Captain America?" Or you're going to do it. It's as much as I feel the pain of the characters that I knew as a kid. They're not there anymore. There's still those characters, and you'd still, take a go. You really would. So, it disappoints me sometimes that I see some people sort of dipping out because there's too much work for them. It's like it's a work ethic, and also it's a dream job. Just get on with it. But,
well, that's how the comic industry in the mainstream takes advantage of you, is they sell you a dream.
But then if I'm getting paid, I don't know what the pay rate is, but 48 pages a month for a few years, I'm done. Then I'm fine.
You can do 48 pages in a month. Why aren't you working in the mainstream? Someone should be paying you.
No one will take me on. I'm too old.
You're just hitting your prime, dude.
Yeah, okay.
Your art's so damn good. I just
use the new 30.
When I'm editing the Atlantean, I'm just like I have to. It takes me a while because I just get lost in your pages.
Well, thank you very much. It's but it is about communication. It's about telling a story. Sequential art is the most important aspect of it, telling stories, and I think sometimes that gets lost. And the best artists, like Mr. Mora, do tell a great story, and that's why they're so enjoyable to have on the page.
Well, how many times? Because you're working with other writers on the Atlantean. How many times have I given you notes where I'm saying just kill this caption? You don't need it. Your art is telling the story. It happens a lot because what you're doing on the page is so expressive, and it's so it's show don't tell. And
it's a secret. Show don't tell.
It's cool when you can use the captions to hammer home or to make a larger point, but the art should be telling the story.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm. Show don't tell.
That's your philosophy, Rainey?
Yeah, I try. It's this is why having editors and proofreaders are important, because if you're close to the work, especially if you're doing creator-owned stuff, you're kind of you have your own perspective a lot of the time, right? And I'm very grateful that I have editors, and I always run the book by friends and do. I like what you said earlier about Aaron, about doing a second dialogue pass, because I'll do that all the time, because once the art is done and then the dialogue goes on top, readjusting it and asking for feedback to see, is this dialogue box even needed? And a lot of the time I will get told, let the reader do a step of the work, because the art is already telegraphing what the story is about. So you want to respect your reader's intelligence by letting them put things together instead of just holding their hand through the whole story. And that's where visual storytelling comes in. So you're absolutely right. That's what comics are about. It's not just it's so much more than just drawing well and pretty art. There's a layer underneath that holds everything up.
Yeah. That's why it's crazy. You look at Dan Moore, like 2 books a month. He doesn't like slack or take any shortcuts on the backgrounds.
No,
That's hard. Yeah. And honestly, backgrounds and the layouts, the visual storytelling takes the most time. Like drawing pretty characters and action, that is honestly not that hard. It is figuring out the staging and perspective work that takes a long time. So I'm amazed that he can do that many pages with that factored in.
Yeah, because a lot of people, you see when you get in the really dynamic action scene, they just kind of leave some of the background out, and it's fine. It looks really good. But he never does that. He's like, nope, you got to have that building in every single window.
No, Renzo is like that too. On Kneel Before Doomface, I just got a page for him for book 2, and I was so proud of him because it's a big action sequence. And I'm like, you just did some that are speed lines. I'm like, I'm so proud of you that you didn't go in and draw every single building in the city. Just because it's like I feel like he's killing himself. Like I love the detail that he puts in, but like sometimes I'm like, Renzo, you're gonna die, and I need you long term. Don't kill yourself. Don't burn yourself out.
This is all selfish.
Well, you know what?
Don't die.
You know what? The reader to get lost in all the detail and miss the thing that's supposed to be like at the front too. So there's definitely a fine balance, because you'll see some pages you're like, this is just completely overwhelming. Like,
or you can go the other way. You can read a Rob Liefeld comic where there's a background in one panel, and then there's no backgrounds in any other
that's
panel.
The stage,
you go back and look at some of Eisner's work, and you'll see how that's done. So he can put in a great background, and then only suggest that background while you focus in on the characters, and it's fantastic storytelling. It's a masterclass. Any of Eisner's books, go check them out.
Absolutely, Eisner was great. Very interesting stuff. Although he's got some pretty dirty stuff in there too. Like the Eisner words, he's like the Walt Disney of comic books. You're like, there's a little bit of, it's not really porno, but it's kind of close.
He likes showing the world what it is. Yeah.
Absolutely. He's got to celebrate.
It's the world outside his window, and he lives outside of a brothel.
He's constantly poking his nose in.
So we're about to wrap this up. I do want to say thank you very much to obviously all the panel guests. And before we get out, I do need to also say thank you very much to Murat Michaels and Drew for sponsoring today's live stream. We do have a little promo.
Wonderkin, Murat Michaels is returning to the world of Notti and Nyce, and he's bringing the hardest working writer in comics with him. From Clan McDonald Comics, Notti and Nyce Reset, written by Dolan Waddick, aka Drew, and Murat Michaels with Murat on art. It starts with a familiar beginning for the original Bad Girls, but by the end, they'll be thrown into a wild new world where nothing will ever be the same. This issue kicks off an all-new series written by Dolan Waddick and edited by Thinking Critical's own Aaron Sparrow. The official launch stream happens Thursday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, right here on Thinking Critical YouTube. Be there or be square. Sign up on Kickstarter now. You don't want to miss out. Link in the video description, because the Bad Girls just got badder.
So, Aaron, you're telling me it's more than just Bad Girls, but when Drew sent me the information when I was doing the promo, he's like, this is about bad girls.
Well, yeah, he's like, this is what's going to sell the book, is the fact that it's about bad girls. And they're assassins, and it's all very well done. If you've read any of the Notti and Nyce stuff before, I think this is really like leveled up. I think that Drew continues to level up as a writer in all of my time working with him. He's just getting better and better. And he's been like sitting on this for like 2 years, this news that they were doing this book. So he's crazy. He's already got like 12 issues written, just like everything else. Like, you're like, hey, my first issue of this book is going to Kickstarter. And you want to read issue 12? And I'm like, good God, man. But he sits down, he just gets in the zone and he just goes. He's super prolific. So, this book is going to be great, and I hope that everybody checks it out. And I hope everybody joins us Thursday. Even if you're like, hey man, I don't have the money right now, or come join us Thursday and have a good time on the stream, because we always have fun.
You're gonna have some of these knuckleheads with you on Thursday?
Yeah, I mean, Drew's in charge of inviting people, so we'll see who he brings in. Last time it was a surprise.
Somebody that runs the stream, don't leave it up to Drew.
No, like last time we got Hart D. Fisher in. We got people coming on the channel who've never been before. So it ended up being like a really interesting talk. But I'll see. I'll throw out some invites out, see who wants to come on.
Very nice, Aaron. Do you have any books you want to recommend this week?
I want to recommend Fiendish #3. I want to recommend The Atlantean #3. Both of those. Like, if you guys haven't read, first of all, if you guys haven't read Fiendish, I definitely recommend that you check it out. It's been one of my favorite books. I always say that my two favorite
Thank you.
indie titles that are coming out regularly from indie creators are Wraith of God by Aaron Lopresti and Fiendish by Rini. So
thank you.
Yeah, there's catch-up tiers on that and on the Atlantean. On the Atlantean, I'm a little biased because I edit it. So I get to see it all before everybody else. So I feel fortunate in that regard, but it's really good and it's getting better and better with each issue. So both of those are my recommendations. And of course, I recommend that you back Neil before Doomface if you haven't already.
And Backer Kit is going to happen, right?
Backer Kit is going to happen. We finally heard back from the rep yesterday. They were trying to get us to do like something to like the tiers. They're like, well, you should have like an autograph, option on every single tier, which we would have to go in. We'd have to edit every tier to put that into the Backer Kit. And it was like, we just have an autograph, option for whatever books you order. So just, why don't we just have that one thing? But like, it's been a really weird back and forth once we finally did get back to them. But yes, Backer Kit will be going out. The book will be going to print. Everyone will get their digital copy as we go off to print so they can read it, know that it's a full and complete book and get excited about it before they get their physical copy. So
if you've been sitting on the pot, now's the time to shit.
That's right.
What about
you know what? I need to make a little Doomface sticker that says that.
So thank you very much. Reedy, so thank you so much for joining us. Congratulations on the huge success. There is a link in the video description. If you're unaware, if you haven't found Reedy's book, Fiendish Chapter 3 on Indiegogo, do you have any other comic books you'd like to recommend or maybe a final pitch for Fiendish?
I would recommend the books by all the other extraordinary panel members, the Atlantean, Neil before Doomface. I'm a big supporter of good indie books. I think I love seeing new ideas come into the comic scene. So all the success to you guys. And yes, Fiendish is, I have some of the previous books here. This is chapter 2.5, a little side story, and which we're sold out of. This is my copy, and it is the last copy, so I need to print more. It is a fantasy mystery, so if you like dark fantasy and a really crazy world building, I created a language for this comic. Along with my own magic system and my own species. I'm a little insane, but yeah, if you like that kind of stuff and a really immersive fantasy world and demon hunting and stuff like that, then check out Fiendish. I have a website, fiendishcomic.com. And thank you so much for having me on. This was really great. Thanks.
Well, see, Dylan's going to be really excited about Fiendish because it has demon hunting. And as we all know, he recommended K-pop demon hunters.
I don't know if it's quite the same thing, but yes, there are demons. So if you're a fan of
number one movie of the year, even better.
I got to see that now. Yeah, now I'm not going to be able to
you should definitely see it. It's on Netflix and it was shockingly good. I'm not saying it's amazing, but it's a lot of fun.
Cool.
And even my boys
check it out.
So. And then Russ, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate talking comic books with you. Comic Book Black Belt, you've got your own YouTube channel. You've got the Atlantean. If people haven't caught up on the first 2 issues, they are available right now on Barnes & Noble and Amazon. Yeah. Or you got to go to Fund My Comic.
Yeah, go to Fund My Comic, pick those up. They're there. Also, if you go to my website, russleach.com, you can sign up for the email list. So we've got a permanent newsletter going on. It won't be in your inbox too often. I won't fill that up, but we'll let you know when things are available on retail or when the next campaign is coming up. So you go to russleach.com and sign up for the email list there. There's a merch page there. You can also check out my other book, Only Death Can Save Us. There's 2 of those out. Again, you can go pick that up on Amazon. So yeah, and again, thank you so much for having me on. Like I say, I've been watching the channel since you started, and
Yeah,
it's
we
really,
had like 10 subscribers.
yeah, really great to be part of this panel and to meet you all in through the screen, if not in person. So thank you, and what a great chat as well. Absolutely brilliant. Kept me very entertained.
Very
Just
good,
chatting
as long as
comics.
everybody has fun. Yeah. All right, Dylan, we're down to you. You got any? Well, never mind. You can't give your comic book recommendations. You and I are recording Best of the Week this week.
Well, then I'll just say one. I'll say the best comic of the week, Daredevil Cold Day in Hell #3. Read that. It's really good.
Definitely. And you say the best movie of the year, K-pop Demon Hunter, or is it Weapons?
No, it's still Mission Impossible for me. That's still my favorite. Weapons is really good. It's in my top 5, but Mission Impossible is still my favorite.
It's not number one. I thought
No,
you were saying
no.
it was like
It's really
Mission
good. It's in my top 5 of the year, and I've seen 37 movies this year, but it's
Wow.
it's not the best one of the year.
All right, let's hear the top 5.
Top 5. I have 28 Years Later, Weapons, Bring Her Back, Warfare, and Mission Impossible from 5 to 1.
My 10-year-old agrees. He said Mission Impossible Final Reckoning was the best movie he's ever seen in his life.
I am still irrationally upset about the name of that movie.
It should be Dead Reckoning Part 2.
Yes,
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah.
I know, but calling it Final Reckoning after there was a Dead Reckoning Part 1 irritates me because I'm still waiting for my Dead Reckoning Part 2.
I have
No,
the
'cause,
4K,
like, it doesn't work.
and it says Part 1 on it. I bought it before they changed it. It says Part 1 here, Dead Reckoning Part 1.
This is like Doc with the omnibus argument. He's like, when I get the goddamn Blu-ray, it's not going to look right on the shelf. It's going to say Part 1. There's no Part 2, and there's just this other movie there.
Exactly. That's
At least when they did it with the History of the World Part 1, it was a joke.
Yeah,
we're supposed to
because
get a
there was
Part 2.
never a Part 2.
Yeah. Then we got a Part 2 with Josh Gad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. So Warfare is the one I think a lot of people probably haven't heard of, Dylan, and that's actually got like real Navy SEALs or something in it.
So it was directed by a Navy SEAL, co-directed, I should say, because this is his first movie, and it's based on him and his other guys' memories from the incident, from what happened, and like you can see all the behind the scenes, like those guys were on set with him. But yeah, it was an actual combat vet that co-directed it, along with Alex Garland, who is the guy who wrote 28 Days Later, and has directed some other movies, written other movies. But yeah, it is really good. I liked Warfare a lot.
Man, I need to see that one. That's like right in my wheelhouse.
Yes, you should watch Warfare. It's really good.
Very nice. And Dylan will be back on the channel here in about 5 hours when we talk about the best comic books of the week. Gonna have a lot of fun with that. Last but not least, Doc, you are up. You got any comic books you want to recommend?
Well, first of all, I'm gonna recommend you check out Fiendish and the LB4 Doomface and the Atlantean. Because I really, really enjoy having the folks here. Definitely check out the stream on Thursday it was Thursday, right? For Notti and Nyce launch.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you want to come on, Doc? Yeah, you're welcome.
Let me get back to you. I think that might work actually.
Okay.
That would be fun. And but then I am going to also recommend that you check out our review of All-New Venom #9 when it hits on Monday. For all of the Paul battery that you can get. And in the interim, though, if you actually want to read comics, so then I am going to, this is, a couple of these came out like a couple of weeks ago, but this Spider-Man Wolverine book is just good fucking fun.
All right.
Carrie Andrews is killing it. Mark Guggenheim's script is perfectly fine. It's just a decent, superhero comic. But yeah, it's absolutely a good, fun, just kind of action-packed comic. Then I'm going to go with Ultimate Spider-Man #19. I don't know why, considering that the most expensive quitter in Marvel history is still doing this, and I know that he's just going to quit in 5 more issues, but fuck it, why not? But because it's still not a bad comic. Then I found this the other day. First appearance of Speedball, ASM Annual #22. I got this for like $8. I'm like, you know what? It's Speedball, but he kind of actually matters sometimes. So ASM Annual 22, the story's mediocre. Speedball sucks, especially in his first couple of appearances. It's not until he becomes part of the New Warriors that he gets any good. Then we will go with, I'm going to do a trifecta. So, found a couple of these the other day. So you got Uncanny X-Men 350, the direct edition, Uncanny X-Men 350, the direct non-foil edition, and then Uncanny X-Men 350, the newsstand edition. So you can go and try to find all three variants. I actually just found this newsstand. I've been on the hunt for one for a while and just kind of stumbled across it. The other day I was at a comic shop and I found a bunch of newsstand editions from the 250s and up. So I picked up like 6 or 7 that I was missing because I'm being one of those fucking idiots that is going back, and I already have almost the entire run in, a cover and variants. Now I'm deciding, because I'm a glutton for punishment and need to continue buying the same copies of X-Men over and over and over again, I'm now distinguishing between direct edition and newsstand. So some of these newsstands are kind of hard to find, but this one was in bad condition too, and it was like $4. So those are, and I mean, come on, Joe Mad Art, Scott Lobdell writing, it's pretty good. Or no, this is this might be Steve Siegel. I don't remember.
But what did I do? I did something. I wasn't supposed to do that. I was supposed to do this. I accidentally removed Doc instead of just making him the thing. Oh my goodness. Operator error, I guess, on that one. Then Doc showed his face.
Yep.
People are
gonna get a face reveal. It's one of like 6 or 7 that's happened on this show over the years.
Normally, you just give side cheek. You don't normally give the whole face.
I know. Normally, I do not give the whole face.
There you go. But you got your own Instagram. It's not like your face isn't out there.
I know, right?
But I guess it makes it more intriguing here on the channel. But I had a great time today. This is actually a really fun show. Thank you very much to Reedy and Russ for joining us.
Thank you.
And,
yes, a lot of fun.
I think we'll be wrapping this bad boy up. Hope everyone is enjoying the